Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mercy Kill. This is episode 13, Kaizo Mods with GlitchCat7. Very, very, very excited to have GlitchCat7 here, by the way. A few announcements before we get started. AGDQ 2021 Online is coming up soon on January 3rd to the 10th. You can go to gamesdonequick.com/schedule to check out the schedule and tweet at us at gamesdonequick and tell us what you are most interested in seeing. If you are watching on YouTube and you'd love to support our live content, please consider checking out our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/GDQ. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe to any Twitch channel of your choice every month for free. Please consider using your Prime Gaming account to support the weekly GDQ Hotfix content. With all of our new Hotfix shows, you can head over to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix to find out more and submit your runs. And with that, GlitchCat, how are you doing? It's wonderful to see you.
Whoa, I'm doing well. I'm staying warm on a dark and snowy night here.
That sounds like the beginning of a Kaizo mod. It was a dark and snowy night.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I'm very excited. Thank you so much for having me. This is a real honor, and I'm really excited to be able to play my own stuff.
Absolutely. Would you like to tell everyone a little bit about yourself? This is a very different episode of Mercy Kill tonight in that you have crafted all of the mods that you're going to be running through tonight.
Yeah. So hi. Hello. I'm GlitchCat. I'm a streamer, speedrunner, and Kaizo player and level designer. These are 3 games that I have made myself. The first is SMB2, and the next 2 will be Super Mario World. The final 2 are not quite marathon safe, so this is actually great for Mercy Kill. But this one is. I like this one. I'm very, very proud of this. This is Return to Subcon, the first Super Mario Bros. 2 Kaizo game that got made. And it actually got made with a whole new editor. There's a lot to talk about with this game, so I can go into as much detail as you want now, or start the run, or however you want to do it.
Well, I definitely have a few questions for you before we get started.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know what inspired the creation of Return to Subcon in particular. I mean, we've seen Super Mario World mods, but this was one of the first times I had at least seen a Super Mario Bros. 2 mod. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so D4, my very good friend, D to the 4th, I met them in chat. They came into my chat one day, and we were having conversations about, modding and that kind of thing, and they asked, what game doesn't have an editor yet that you think would be cool if they had an editor? And I thought for a minute, and I just said, what about Mario 2? There's no Mario 2 mods. Let's get a Mario 2 editor. And I thought they were kind of just making conversation, but they came back a couple weeks later and said, oh, hey, I actually did make a Mario 2 editor. Do you want to check it out? And so that kickstarted this really incredible friendship that I've had with D4. And this hack really is really a collaborative effort between myself and D4. I designed the levels, and D4 did all of the technical work that went into it. The editor is available if people want to try this for themselves. It's on d2the4th.space. And you can get it for yourself and make your own Mario 2 with it. It's a really, really fantastic editor, and it can do a lot of stuff. So that was the inception for this. I just, it sort of all kind of fell into my lap.
Well, I wouldn't say that. You and D to the 4th definitely put in a ton of work into this mod, and that's one of the things I'm really excited to show tonight is that. So let's get into the run a little bit. Do you have any safety strats you plan on implementing? Is there such a thing as a safety strat in a Kaizo-based game?
Well, I think this game kind of walks the line, I'd say. Sometimes we think of Kaizo as being, it is so brutal, there is one solution, almost like Ultimate Ninja Warrior kind of, where you just do the obstacles. This one, I wanted this game to be like the real Super Mario Bros. 2. I wanted it to remind people about the original game and kind of pay homage to that. So there are some easier things about this game. The default one hit, you get 2 hits in Mario 2. I didn't take that out. I didn't want to make it one hit kill, make it super hard. So that kind of functions like a safety. You get the little hearts that spawn once you destroy enough enemies. That still is in the game. I didn't take that out. So the levels are challenging, but I wanted, in particular, I've always said, if I'm remembered for one mod that I've made, this is my favorite, and this is the one that I really made for everybody. I wanted the player to have a good experience with this. I was trying to consider the player. Some other stuff you might see of mine tonight is a little bit more difficult and kind of just show-off-ish, but this one, I wanted to put some quality of life stuff in for everybody. So are there safety strats? Not really, but there are just sort of built-in safety things in the game.
All right, well, before we dive into the run, which I'm very excited about, I do want to take the moment here to shout out D to the fourth. Again, a ton of hard work put into this ROM, into this mod. So twitch.tv/D to the fourth. I'll be sure to get that on there as well, as D to the fourth deserves all of the credit for this as well too, in addition to GlitchCat, and I'm going to put yours there too. Twitch.tv/GlitchCat7 for GlitchCat, and then again that's twitch.tv/D to the fourth. GlitchCat, are you ready to go? I don't want to keep people waiting for the gameplay too much longer. I'm very excited.
I'm ready. I did want to mention one thing too off the bat. D to the fourth also has a Patreon where they do ASM assembly code requests. So if you have something that you might think would be cool in Mario World or some other game, you can sign up on D4's Patreon and commission ASM work and stuff. Also, if you're interested in getting this patch for this game, it's on dtothefourth.space, and it's also on my personal website, which is glitchcat7.com. All of my mod patches live there.
All right. Thank you for doing that. All right, let's get going then. I'm very excited about this. All right, you ready?
Let me point out something before I do the countdown. Let me point out something real quick. SMB2 doesn't have a save system, the real SMB2. This game does have a save system, which was a custom thing that was implemented. So you could continue on the last level that you were on or start a new game, which is what we'll do here.
All right, on your countdown. I am ready.
All right. Do you want me to count down or you to count down?
You to count down, please. Thank you.
All right. Are you ready? I'll go on go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Go! Good luck and have fun! And I'm gonna make sure to get both of those Twitch links into the chat so people can follow both D to the fourth and GlitchCat. Go ahead, GlitchCat. So, all right, we have one. This kind of looks like the usual right now. What's going on here?
Yeah, that is the original room. So I'm gonna die a bit on this because, like Mercy Kill, I didn't practice. This goes by really quick, and there's a lot to talk about. But I didn't practice, so I made this. So we'll see. We'll see how well I do. The intro screen that you drop through is the original intro screen from SMB2. I didn't want to change that because I liked that it was like the magical barrier between worlds. But this level, I really wanted to feel like an homage to the original game. So they got the running around, got some basic platforming, and then the vertical sections. There's just like, I don't. Please ask questions, I guess, because there's like so much to talk about with this, and this is really just a full overhaul of the game. Ooh, hey, I made it.
So I have a question right away. So, was there anything that you had created? And you were just like, you know what, this is just unfair. I'm going to modify this because, I want people to actually enjoy playing the game and not die on the same screen 50 times over.
I really took care with all the levels to design them with, just to kind of make it open-ended, not too tight. The jumps aren't too brutal, things like that. And I really spent a lot of time editing and getting some people to play test to make it really fair. One thing I did was sometimes I would play a section with the controller upside down because I figured if I could play the controller upside down, then a less skilled player, no offense, might be able to do it with the controller right side up. So that was how I tested if something was too hard or difficult or whatever.
Oh, wow, that's quite a thing to actually think about and implement and use here. So, did you delete any sections of levels? Were you looking at something, I guess, and you were like, nah, I'm gonna try this again?
Well, my level design process is kind of a process of refinement. I like to just kind of come up with tricks and see, like, does that work? Does that not work? So sometimes, like, I have an idea, but it doesn't work in a particular way, and so I restructure it a little bit, or maybe nerf it, take out a jump, make a jump a little bit bigger, make the ceiling bigger, smaller, whatever the case may be. But one thing I wanted to point out, in original Mario 2, you can pick one of the 4 characters. And in this game, for every level, like, you have your choice. And in this one, I limited the character selection to 1 character per level because I wanted to show off the cool individual things of each character. Mario, of course, being the character with the least unique properties, but Luigi with this big floating jump. I wanted to have a lot of sections that made each individual character's powers an asset, not a liability. So I wanted Luigi's big floaty jump to feel cool instead of being the thing that's getting in your way, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, you wanted to make the most out of the 4 characters' way of platforming, and each one does have a unique feature. Except for Mario. Mario's kind of like the more balanced one, but even then there's stuff to do with that. We see that in the speedrun of Vanilla Mario 2 in 3-3, which is Mario's level to accomplish a certain kind of jump that Mario can do. So I think GlitchCat is trying to accomplish like that spirit of that, like there needs to be an appropriate character for every stage by taking advantage of the character's features here, and I really like that about this mod.
Yeah, thanks. You can, with the SMB2 edit, that's the name of the editor we used, you can select not only if you want one character per level, but you could actually pick. So you could make a mod that gave the player the choice between Toad or Luigi or whoever you wanted. And the really cool thing about SMB2 edit, which I didn't do in this game, but would be something in the future, is you can actually just edit the character's physics in the editor. So say, for example, you wanted Luigi to float like Peach, no problem. Just check a box and you can do that. So you could actually use SMB2 edit to, oh, I missed Birdo. No. You could use SMB2 edit to turn this into a completely different game, with completely new characters. I thought about doing that for a future project, but I didn't want to wreck the feel of original Mario 2. I wanted this game to remind people of the original.
Oh, this is a good question we have here from the chat for you. Would it be possible to remove the limited lives of other Kaizo mods, or do other things like respawning locations for the vegetables and boss rooms?
Yes, you can. This has an infinite lives patch on it, so the lives will just be permanently frozen at 2. You can certainly do that. As far as respawning vegetables, I'm pretty sure the entire room respawns every time you die. So, I mean, the editor has like custom ASM like mounting that you can put in it, but every time you die, everything in the room will respawn. One thing I want to point out here, this is a level that uses Peach's float. And there's an interesting property that doesn't really get used a lot in the vanilla speedrun, which is if you jump without engaging your float, you'll be able to float again out of midair. So it's kind of counterintuitive, but you can jump and fall down, and then engage your float. See how I'm doing it right there? I'm floating on the way down, and that's a bit of tech that you actually need to use in this to get through it. So here's my Mouser fight. You can change the boss rooms with this editor. And the problem with the bosses, especially in SMB2, oh, geez, don't do that. But the problem with the SMB2 bosses is that their behavior is very hard-coded, you could say, to be workable in the room that they're in the vanilla game. Vanilla is just what we refer to as the game with no modifications. So it was a little bit tricky to design boss rooms for this because I really had to just use their stock behavior. So I did the best I could, I think, with the bosses. I like them. I think they're kind of fun. But this isn't much of a difference, I guess, from the original Mouser fight. You're still just throwing bombs and, watching out. I tried to make it a little more, you got to watch out for the ground being destroyed on the left and time the throw. But otherwise, it's pretty much just Mouser.
Look at GlitchCat being like, this isn't that. No, this is difficult, okay? You gotta give yourself a little more credit than that. This is ridiculous, actually. And I really like the twist that you've given this. I mean, you really only had a limited amount of kind of leeway and creativity when it comes to the Mouser fight. I think this is quite well done. I like what you've done here.
Thanks. This is World 2. This is the desert level. I'm gonna try for a little skip here. Oh, I almost got it. Well. You can jump up through the ceiling there. That was not something I was aware of when I made it, but Andrew G, notable speedrunning personality and good friend Andrew G, spent a lot of time with this game when it came out, and they actually managed to find some tech that I wasn't even aware of when I built it, which I could try to show off on the speedrun. So you need to bring the bomb here to the end. But I wanted this is World 2. You notice all the worlds they pay respect to the source material. So in real SMB2, World 2 was the desert, and it's the desert here as well. I'm gonna try for the skip. No, I didn't get it.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil what's coming up, but I do want to get into a little something about the world order a little while. You know what I'm talking about, and you know what I'm going to ask you. I'm sure it's the
yeah,
same thing that
yeah.
everyone has asked you about, but we'll wait to get to that till later.
Yeah.
I do like what you've done here, though. So I believe, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I think there's 2 different modes of quicksand in this game, right? There's kind of the slower one, and then there's kind of like the faster, more difficult one.
Actually, this obstacle uses that. There's fast quicksand on the left, and there's slow quicksand on the right, because it makes it easier for the player to get under there. Oh, that's something, too, I wanted to point out. Bomb hitboxes. Bomb hitboxes in real SMB2 are notoriously bad. They don't call the lower right corner of the 8x8 square they draw for the hitbox. D4 corrected that. So bombs in this game actually work better than real SMB2. But so here we're getting cherries. This was something from the original game as well. 5 cherries will get you a superstar. And I wanted to use as many of the gimmicks from the original game as I could. So we actually have to get all 5 cherries in this digging section. This is actually just to make that a little bit easier so you can get one of those snippets. But we actually will need to actually grab, don't shoot me, grab all the cherries in order to make it out of this section. Ooh, I didn't want to do that. You know what? Hey, you know what? This is fine. This is fine. We'll be fine. Yeah, you got to use the superstar here to get the run.
We have a nice comment here from the chat, and I agree with this. Don't be afraid to try this out. I wasn't even I was able to complete it, and I don't even Kaizo. And again, somebody has to start somewhere when it comes to Kaizo-based games. You know, don't be afraid to try that. You know, the worst thing that happens is, you know, you're gonna have to play through stages a little bit longer because you're getting used to the game. Don't be afraid to try stuff like this out. It's quite neat.
Yeah, you know, there were a lot of people when I was making this who said, you know, oh, well, that looks really cool, but I don't know how to play SMB2. And it's like, I get that, and that I designed the game to hopefully try to teach you what you need to know. So this Birdo fight, this is a green Birdo, and it only shoots fire, so there's nothing to kill it with. So you have to get all 5 cherries and then climb back over here. You can get them in any order, and then climb back and use the superstar to take out Birdo. There is a skip in this, but I didn't practice it, and it was something that I was not aware of when I made it. So Andrew G, shout outs to Andrew G for finding the skip. This level I like. This is another Luigi level. The one thing about this level, which might be a little bit strange if you've never played real SMB2, is if you're climbing up a vine and then you slide off the vine, you get a little vertical bop upward. You see how that is that noticeable? You will just want to be moving up as you're coming off the vine, and hopefully some players originally got hung up in this section because they didn't know that you could do that, but I was trying to teach the player that that's what you do here to get over that gap right there. And then here's the secret. So I want to pause for just a second to show something. So you can jump off of vines if you do a really tight jump right as you're getting to the edge. You can jump off vines, and because this is one tile, the ceiling here is only one tile. If you were to do a crouch jump off a vine, you can stick your head in the ceiling and climb through a one-tile ceiling. When I made this game, I didn't know that, and the first day that I put this game out, Andrew G was playing it and found that ceiling and then clipped up into the ceiling and got himself soft blocked. So because of that, in an updated version, I made, if you clip out of bounds there, you go to a little special room that says GG for Andrew G, and there's a special speedrun category just called Andrew G %, where the goal is just to get yourself soft locked in that room. Just a little homage to a friend. But this is the same sort of thing, collecting all 5 cherries because you need them. Now we could skip this fight by doing a clip through the ceiling right there as well, but it's a little bit tricky, and I don't want to waste time here on this this speed run, so let's take Birdo out that way.
Yeah, I'm showing you around the 33-minute mark in terms of time left, so it looks like you're doing pretty well so far in terms of time.
We're doing all right. I promise I have not practiced. Oh, whoops, that was the fake key. Whoops, I forgot which one was which. Cool. Crap. So I did not practice this in the spirit of Mercy Kill, though I may have been tempted to. I have not practiced this at all. I did for a little bit. You know, I made the game and I put a ton of time into it. But I never really had like a speedrun PB because I just felt like it was kind of awkward to, you know, speedrun my own game. And I wanted other people to have, you know, to have the fun of it and for them to get the world records and stuff. The world record right now, I think, is 17 minutes and change, which is really good. But But I like this level. This is just Mario. Oh, I needed that, but I have the damage boost. So this is where it gets kind of adaptable, because I don't require the player to use both of their health hits, which means that when you're playing the game and you know what's coming up, if you're speedrunning, you have the choice to use a damage boost in every section, and you can use that to skip something or make a different route through the level. This is my Triclide fight. Triclide does exactly one thing, just sits there and throws fire out. So it was a little bit tricky again to kind of come up with a interesting room, because what else do you do, right? Like Triclide is just making fire, and so all you got to do is go around and get the 3 veggies. Got him.
That is quite the jump to get over to where that last vegetable is. That's
yeah,
wild.
that one's a little tricky. The nice thing about SMB2 is that every single screen transition, except for jars, will act like a checkpoint. So as long as the player just goes in a door, they can have as many checkpoints as they like. One thing I want to mention here is when you jump off the magic carpet, it moves faster. Like you move slower on the carpet than you do jumping off of it. So in some cases there, I actually had to jump off the carpet to make it move faster to the right. This section gives people a lot of trouble, but I actually really like it. And this was indeed inspired by Celeste. Climbing up the, there's 2 Celeste-inspired areas here. Climbing up the infinite waterfall. This was in the original game as well, but I thought I would do my own take on the infinite vertical waterfall section. This part is actually probably the most annoying for some people. These Bezos are kind of RNG, but they want to aim for your head. So you just have to jump to kind of induce them to fly in the way that you want. And then something that always kind of gets people, the vertical wraparound. Let's see. Oh, okay. All right, All right. Well, the checkpoint was right up there. We got to get back though.
And I agree with the chat on this. I really like the aesthetics that you use for these levels. We had those wonderful colors in the last level, and now we have the homage to Celeste here, which also looks very beautiful. I love the waterfall segments. Yeah,
thank you. I really try, and maybe you'll see this in some of my other games too, is I really like a sense of environment and atmosphere. Very much inspired by like the old Donkey Kong Country games, how they just were so evocative and they just had such a neat atmosphere. And so I always like to try to make my games just evoke that sense. I really want you to feel like you're on climbing up a big waterfall on a nice day, or in a spooky cavern or whatever the case may be. So yeah, I need to like do this part here. Yeah.
Sorry, it's just.
No, it's great.
When people have reaction noises, that's one of my favorite parts of watching games.
There we go.
So I think if we're talking about art and aesthetics, my favorite room of the whole game, and we'll see it later, is the Fry Guy fight, actually.
Oh, don't let like anybody else hear you say that. That was like the most contentious level. One thing I want to point out real quick while we're here about the tech is that your hitbox, even when you're small, the character's hitbox in this game is smaller when you're crouching. And so using crouch jumps to get through some of those one-tile sections is actually required because it makes you just a little bit smaller. And there should be, actually, I got the good despawn. There should be a little hedgehog that walks around in here, but I despawned it, so lucky. And that's like, I wanted to make this game lenient. So things like, oh, hey, sometimes that hedgehog despawns. You know what? Whatever. Because this one, I really wanted people to just have a fun time with, as opposed to just kind of get your butt kicked. Although this is probably one of the toughest levels for everybody. I think I went a little bit overboard on this. I just kind of shrugged and said, oh, they'll probably be okay. But this is like a damage boosting level. So we're going to use the damage boost and some clever tricks. Got to crouch there, and a couple clever tricks to get through and grab these hearts before they float up and away from us. Everyone has a pretty tough time with this one. Sorry about this level, y'all.
I remember Grand Pooh Bear playing around in this level, and I remember the first couple times. It was rough. I mean, he did a wonderful job with it overall, but I remember him having a pretty tough time with this one in particular.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of a thing here. I'm doing the slow strat, but I left in a speed strat. if you are quick, you can run over and you can just grab the vine and do a vine jump and get in the door that way. You need the damage boost, but if you want to do it the slow way, you throw the Shy Guy in. I had to move. Okay, notice when I come into that room, the door that I entered from is one tile off the ground. I needed to move the door up because if you went back in the door that you just came in from, you'd be on spikes and you'd die and your game would just soft lock. Cliffy found that when we released it. This is a custom Shy Guy. I can't pick, oh, whoops. I cannot pick the Shy Guy up, and it's a little bit faster. One thing that the SMB2 editor has that D4 made is you can edit sprites. So you can give sprites a different hitbox. You can change a little bit of their behavior. You can make them not walk off ledges or change their speed. And it was easier to make a faster Shy Guy that you couldn't pick up so that you could ride along on it in this section instead of having to sit there and wait for the really slow Shy Guy. This trick really confused everybody, sorry. That's what they're supposed to do, but most people just brought the damage boost and jumped over that section, which is fine by me.
Glitchcat, you keep apologizing for really good design and levels. I think most runners will understand you. You don't need to apologize for that kind of thing.
Well, it's rhetorical, you know. I'm Canadian, sorry. This is a custom sprite though. This is a little bit the editor does have custom sprite creation, and this is a bouncy sprite. So these mushrooms will bounce you up. These were not in the original game. That Shy Guy does the same thing. But with the SMB2 edit, we put them in. Oh, I did not do that right.
So we have another question from the chat here. Can you add healing veggies like that in the GBA version of Mario 2?
No, actually. But if someone were so inclined to write some custom ASM that would do that, you could easily use the editor to put those sprites in, and you could have your own graphics for them if you, oof, felt like it. So it's not in the default game, but if one were so inclined to code it, it certainly could be done. And that's actually a really cool idea, by the way. I am working on a sequel. Everybody asks, you know, Subcon sequel when. I am working on it. Progress is slow, but it'll, you know, soon, trademark. This is, okay, I love this fight. I'm super pleased with this fight because of one reason. So we're fighting Red Birdo, and we got the Shy Guy that you can't pick up. That's a custom sprite. And just, you know, riding back and forth, watching out for the fire, and not falling in the spikes. But there's a funny trick at the end that made me laugh. This one I'm not sorry for. You know, sometimes when I'm building levels, and this is a good rule of thumb I like to tell everybody, you know, if I'm building a level and something happens unexpectedly and I start laughing, that's a good thing. You should probably keep that in. So the trick with this is that once you kill Birdo, that red Shy Guy sprite keeps walking, but the player character freezes. And if you're not careful and you're standing on that red Shy Guy, the door will appear, but the Shy Guy just walks out from under you. And then when you get control again, you just fall in the spikes and die. And then I go, haha.
Okay, that's mean. That is just mean. By the way, we're about 21 minutes in, so I got about 24 minutes left. You're making great time right now. Also, the whale is here. I know a lot of friends who love this whale in the Mario 2 games.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this level. I started working on this level at the airport on the way back from MMC2. Everyone really liked crouching with Luigi, so I wanted to make like a Luigi sliding on ice and crouching section. This is the curling obstacle. Got him.
Another Canadian reference.
Oh wait, I was supposed to jump up there. Whoops.
Well, now I know you didn't see. Now that's just proof that you didn't practice. There you go. See.
I on my honor, I did not practice this. I gotta go.
Oh no.
So there was something interesting that happened here. D4 added, I think, a 3-frame buffer to the jump, or to the crouching input rather, so that if you unpress the button with like a shaky controller that drops input sometimes, you won't automatically uncrouch, and it made the experience here a lot smoother. There's a lot of little tiny things like that behind the scenes that you might not notice. Like if, you know, since they're working correctly, the player doesn't actually notice that anything's going on, but it makes the experience a little smoother. Yeah, you wanted to bring that flurry into here, or if you had the damage boost, you could just skip that. Right on.
No, I love this level. I like ice mechanics in general, even though they can be very tricky in some games. I'm a fan of how they work, and Mario 2 is no different than that.
Yeah, I think the Mario 2 ice mechanics are really smooth, actually. They just feel kind of fun to play. And especially with Luigi, it's very, because Luigi has that big floaty jump, so I don't know, it's just a nice feel. I focus a lot on just, does it feel cool to play? You know, like if it's gonna be difficult, like Carl Sagan, like it feels good on the hands. You know, like is it fun to play? Oh, you don't want to stand up in this section. Oh, and I don't want to walk back into there either for demonstrational purposes. That I left in the auth lock because Author Blues found it during his playthrough. You get stuck up in there, but we added a mercy kill code so that you can't actually get soft locked. But when the time came to either get that lock out or keep it, I opted to just add the mercy kill code so that the auth lock could still be a thing. So you're welcome.
Yeah, chat was talking about the auth lock there. I think I remember that. He always makes some kind of noise when he gets soft locked somewhere, and that was definitely one of those sections.
Whoops. This is my other Celeste-inspired level. I don't know. I don't really know where like the Celeste inspiration came from, but just kind of like being in a cave and going fast. I don't know. It just felt like Celeste to me. The one-ups. So you notice I'm riding these eggs through this area. You have to jump off the egg because what you could do like this is just crouch, but that's what the one-up is for, to block you from being able to do that. So that makes the player, I just did this to demonstrate, and that makes the player have to jump off the egg and do the obstacles I wanted. Otherwise, you would have just been able to hang out and just not do anything on that one egg, but this way you actually have to make the jumps. And you need the egg at the end. Well, you don't really if you have the damage boost. Again, oh yeah, see, speedrun strats, you wouldn't need to do that, which is like, I wanted to leave it open. Oh, this is really funny. If you're not fast enough, oh, wait. Hang on, hang on. This is funny. Trust me, this is pretty funny. If you're not fast enough, it just pushes you back down.
I appreciate that.
I don't know. Little things like that make me laugh.
And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to give you definitely a more generous estimate too, because I want you to be able to talk and show these things off. So we made sure we did that just so we could do some fun things in here, in addition to racing against the timer. So again, 45 minutes is our estimate here. We are currently in the vicinity of less than 20 minutes remaining. I still think Glitch Cat is in really good shape, and because, let me put it this way, we were talking about this earlier, not all the levels that are in Mario 2 are in this game, and we'll talk about that a little bit after World 4. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think it leaves room for some creativity maybe down the line.
Yeah. Well, you know, one of the things, and this is always something, oh, geez, I haven't played this section in a minute, but this is always something with level design, especially making levels for older games, especially with Mario 2, there's just not a lot of stuff in the game in the first place. You know, it's what is in the game is good, but, you know, you wind up asking yourself questions like, okay, let's make an interesting level out of a Shy Guy, a Spike, and, you know, an egg. And so at a certain point, I didn't want to repeat myself, and I didn't want to just do the same thing over and over, or have like, oh yeah, you already did this concept. So yeah, we can talk about that. I did cut out two worlds. So it goes right from World 4 to World 7. And that was really honestly just because Carl Sagan gave me some good advice and said people like shorter games, and I happen to agree. And I just didn't really know what to do. You know, there's only so much stuff in here, and I wanted the levels to feel fresh. This one is, I don't know about this level. The only object type of screen transition in the game that doesn't act as a checkpoint are jars. And so this is an homage to something in SMW Kaizo we call the 5-room castle, with 5 rooms that you have to get through and then fight a boss without checkpoints. And each of them, you know, you just have to learn each room in sequence. So if I were to lose a life at any point here, I would go back to the beginning. But this is the Fry Guy fight, and you either love it or hate it. So you might know that in the vanilla game, there is a glitch with the number of little tiny fry guys that appear, and if you destroy them in a bad way, the door to get out of this area won't appear because it doesn't think that all the little fry guys are destroyed. So D4 fixed that. So in fact, we've actually managed to improve a bit on Nintendo's code with this game. But I've actually got myself in a tricky situation there. Yeah, this is why people have a rough time. Now we got to go all the way back to the beginning. 4-3 has messed with some people, but I wanted to do a 5-room castle.
I really enjoy this aesthetic. Like, it feels like you're just going deeper and deeper into Subcon, and for like that artistic reason alone, I really adore this level.
Yeah, thanks. I one thing that I didn't end up using in this hack that is from real SMB2 were the jars or the potion door. I didn't end up using them because there really wasn't much to do. Whoops, there wasn't much to do with them. And so this was kind of my way to make up for that. Like you're going deeper and deeper into the jar world, or whatever.
Yeah, something that I don't hear as many people talk about, and something that I really like about mods is the kind of play that people do with the palettes and the colors in the game. Like, I don't want to see the same palettes that we've been seeing for decades, right? I want to see something really creative, and I feel like this level does it better than even most other mods I've seen.
Yeah, thanks. I did spend some time, working on the palettes and making, the fact that like everything is kind of like outlined in this area. That's intentional. Like I wanted it to feel like that environment. But I agree with that. Like I like, what else could it be? Like even when I was a kid playing arcade games, like just like the color of the level changes as you get deeper into the game. Like, the red stage, the blue stage, what color is next? That was exciting, old school excitement. Okay.
Something I really like also here is how the mushroom block kind of blends in with the background. So if you lose track of that, you only get so many things to throw. You generously get a couple other vegetables. There are times where I'm looking at this saying, all right, I don't know where the block is. Where is it? And then GlitchCat will pick it up. I'm like, all right, there it is. Ooh, this is intense.
Got him.
Got him? All right. I'm glad you let me know because I was like on the edge of my chair. I'm like, oh my gosh. All right, cool.
Yeah, so we had to do a ton of fixes. D4 did a ton of fixes to those hopping frag guys to make them stand still. But here we are. This is almost the end of the game. We skip right to 7-1, and I really wanted to use the conveyors. There will be more conveyor stuff in the sequel, but since this was kind of a World 7 motif in the original game, I really wanted to use them here because I think they're really fun.
So less than 15 minutes remain. I think you got this, GlitchCat.
Here we go. This is actually, I'm very proud of this. Oops, yeah, should have crouched. But I'm really proud of this level in particular. This was one of my favorites for the game. I just really, it was tough to find things to do with Mario platforming since he doesn't really have any outstanding powers or anything. But I was really proud of this section because I thought it kind of hit the motif that I was going for. I really wanted it to feel like World 7, when you get into Wart's area and you're doing all that.
Speaking of Wart's area, that's actually one of my favorite parts of the game, what you do once Wart goes down. I think it's really evil, but I also think it's really funny at the same time.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that when we get there.
You know exactly what I'm talking about there.
Yeah, that one I like. That makes me happy. Oh.
Yeah, if you play Kaizo and Kaizo-esque games, expect to be saying oops and whoops a lot because there's a lot of accidents that happen, even when you know the game inside and out. These are rough levels, they really are, but there's some kind of reward that comes from completing them. Like, you feel like so happy, you defeat like a vanilla Ocarina of Time, you're like, okay, I killed Ganon, whatever, but like when you defeat one of these games, it's so rewarding, which this is one of the most terrifying fights in the game, by the way, from a viewer's perspective at least.
I'm gonna let you pick, Sky.
All right.
This is the final fight. I thought you could pick any character you can pick. Who should I be?
I personally really like Luigi.
Luigi it is? Okay, so yeah, this is the Wart fight. like I said, the boss behavior is very hard coded for the room that they're in. So there wasn't a heck of a lot that I could do to make this fight different. So we got Wart on the conveyor belt, and the veggie spawner is in actually the exact same place. The veggie spawner is hard coded to spawn vegetables exactly here on the screen. So as a matter of fact, this is almost identical to the original Wart fight, except for the fact that Wart's position is moved and the conveyor belt is active and the room is a little bit different. But otherwise, this is like almost exactly the same thing. I thought it was really cool to let you pick your fighter at the end, because some have particular advantages over others. But yeah, we pretty much just gotta do the same sort of thing. It's a little bit more difficult with the conveyor and the timing and the position that Wart's at, like relative to you, because you kind of have to jump to get the vegetable toss, and then you got to pick them up on the conveyor. But otherwise, pretty much just the same old Wart fight, except for one thing at the end.
I can't believe you did this still.
Well, you know, and it really makes me smile too, because so I guess to preface this, when you beat a boss, that door appears. The position that those doors appear in is hard coded. They're just coded to appear in that position. And so, oops, I wanted that damage boost. And so, which I might follow my own sword here. Nope, is that the last hit? No, we need one more. So we actually did a little bit of trickery. I had to call up D4 on this one, and manually move the position of the door so that it spawns in the spikes, meaning that the entire end of the game, you still have to do the one jump into the tiny one tile gap.
This is why I didn't pick Toad.
Time.
All right,
that is return to Subcon.
Oh my goodness, get your GGs out. Glitchcat has defeated the timer. Chalk up another one for the runners. Congratulations on succeeding in Mercy Kill.
Oh, and whoever you pick to fight Wart is the contributor that shares the contributor at the end too. So your character gets to be the contributor. But that's it. Otherwise, it's just the standard credits. Yeah, that's it. That's Return to Subcon. I'm thank you for letting me show this off. I'm really proud of this one.
You should be proud of this one. And wait, you know what? We could have picked a 40-minute timer. We had discussed maybe doing 40, but I'm like, you know what, Glitchcat, I want you to be able to talk about your game, be able to make a few extra mistakes if need be. So
yeah. There are a few little. There's 2 secret rooms, and there's the Andrew G room that I didn't get to show off, but they're really just little secret rooms.
Well, again, shout outs to you and D to the Fourth for making this possible. My goodness, what a fantastic mod. I very much enjoyed that. So we are not done here by any stretch of the imagination. Coming up, Glitchcat will be back with another mod. This time we're going Super Mario World style, and I believe this is going to be called Search for Salmon.
Search for Salmon.
Oh my gosh, I'm super excited for that. And I've heard, now I have not seen this game before. So I've seen Return to Subcon. This is going to be a very surprising experience for me as well. So I'm really excited to see this next one.
Yeah, let me just say, Search for Salmon is not marathon safe. I am going to die.
No, it'll definitely be our longest game of the evening for a reason. So real quick, we are going to take a break. However, remember, folks, that Mercy Kill as well as GDQ Hotfix is brought to you by viewers like you. If you'd like to support the stream as well as the other programs on GDQ Hotfix, please consider subbing to the channel. If you have Amazon Prime member, you have a Prime Gaming sub, so please consider using that if you have not already to sub to the channel. And get excited, AGDQ 2021 Online is coming up soon from January 3rd to the 10th. You can go to gamesdonequick.com/schedule to check out the schedule and tweet at us at gamesdonequick and tell us what you are most interested in seeing. And I'm very, very, very excited about the Super Mario Bros. 35 run. Just saying, that one's probably my favorite on the schedule. And with that, everybody get up, stretch, relax, hydrate. We'll be right back here with Glitchcat and Mercy Kill. Welcome back to Mercy Kill, folks. I'm Skybills, and I am joined here by my good friend Glitchcat7. Glitchcat, you have already conquered the timer once in Return to Subcon, and now we are here with another creation of yours, the Search for Salmon. How are you feeling going into this run?
I'm feeling good. You know, I made a promise, and in the spirit of the game, I did not practice this. I don't think I've played this game for about a year, so we shall see. I feel good, though. Let's go. I made this. How hard can it be?
And I know for you watching on YouTube, because I know y'all watch as well, you're probably thinking to yourself, a year's not that long. You know, some people have gone 7 years without playing a game and being on the show. I will tell y'all, Kaizo rusts way quicker than any other speed game you've seen. So when you think about like the conversion, it's probably 3 to 4 times that of Rust, even if it's only a year. So this is not going to be easy by any means. And from what I can understand, this is a pretty difficult mod too. So what inspired the creation of this one, Glitchcat?
I wanted to make something very, very difficult. So I really like Kaizo. I consider it my art. I consider it a form of art, like skateboarding or yo-yo, any kind of trick-based thing. You know, there's a lot of style, there's a lot of personal expression. I made this to express what I consider to be beautiful about difficulty. In some cases, I might have overpunched a little bit and made it really hard. I set out to make a very difficult game. There's a classic Kaizo 3, the T. Takamoto, Kaizo 3 Bowser, notably. A lot of people used to be very afraid of that game, and then everybody beat it. And the original idea for this was I wanted to make Kaizo 4. I wanted to go beyond that and make something really challenging. This is not marathon safe, really, and I am going to die on my own creation, but hopefully I get to show some cool tricks, and yeah, I think it'll be fun.
This is the place, by the way, folks, if you are ever wondering where the non-marathon safe runs can go, this is one of those shows where it's okay. It's okay to die, it's okay to mess up. That is part of the beauty of Mercy Kill, and that's one of the reasons why we make the timer so generous too, especially during Kaizo. So I believe, let me double check here and take a look. We have a 130 estimate for this, and the PB was a 106 a couple of years ago, so you left yourself a little bit of wiggle room, but not as much as you did in Return to Subcon, so I'm interested to see where that goes. Are you ready to go, Glitchcat?
Yeah, I am ready. Do you want me to count down?
Absolutely, go for it. Let's get started.
On go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Go, good luck, and have fun.
So here's the lore for this. My cat, Mallow, he loves salmon. It's his favorite fish. And that's why this is called The Search for Salmon, because we are going to go out and get Mallow some salmon. He stays at home. He doesn't want to do all this, but we have to go get it. And the fun thing here is that for every person that beats this game for their first time, I actually do give Mallow, my cat, a salmon treat. So the lore comes true. So this is level 1. Welcome. Also, it's a big jump for me to go right from Mario 2 physics to Mario World. So give me a sec here to get acclimated. Again, please feel free to ask questions and things. I'm going to try to point out what I can along the way, but there's a lot to talk about and some things that I might miss.
Well, talking about things to talk about, are there any shout-outs do you have for anyone who may have inspired or worked on this game?
No, I did this mostly myself. Nexus and Decula helped me a little bit, but mostly this was just me. I would shout out T. Takamoto, the original Kaizo Mario creator, because they were a big inspiration, and other Kaizo makers as well. But yeah, this was kind of just me.
Ooh, I like this question from the chat. Give us another Mallow fun fact, as in your cat.
Mallow has his own teepee. He's got a little teepee in the living room, and I posted about it on Twitter, and it made me laugh. I posted, yo, we just got Mallow a teepee, and the first comment was, about time. And I was just like, you know what? I can't argue with that. He is 6. He was born to some stray cats that lived on our porch, and so we've raised him ever since he was since the day he was born. We ended up moving from that place, and we gave his brothers to a no-kill shelter, so hopefully they have good lives, but we kept him. He was the smallest one, and now he has a very nice life with us. He has it on Instagram. I gotta turn the volume up on my TV a little bit. Oh, he does, at Mallow Spiral Tail.
Oh my gosh. Mallow Spiral Tail?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
You can follow his adventures.
That's amazing.
So I want to watch out on that shell jump that I'm doing there, because there are 2 Kaizo blocks that prevent me from doing it the easy way. This level is very tough. I wanted this level to be tough so that when you play this game, you'll know right off the bat, this is what you're in for. It's kind of like speed dating, you know. I wanted the player to know, hey, this is going to be difficult.
Yeah, you're kind of setting up your expectations kind of early here, which makes sense. I mean, this already looks very, very, very difficult.
Yeah, that's the thing with this game is like, it's almost too difficult, right? Like, it's a little bit, you know, I'll cop to it. It's a little bit unfair. It really, really is demanding. A little bit hair raising to play, but you know, we're having fun, right?
Dang, now I'm gonna go check out the cat's Instagram after, because I love kitties.
He's a good boy. I made this game to show my love for him. I would walk 500 miles through all kinds of terrors just to get him some salmon.
So you went with a cave background to start here. Any reason for that? Is there any lore behind this game that you had in mind besides just getting the cat and salmon?
Well, this level is called Sietch Tabar, which is a reference to the novel Dune. Actually, I need to pay attention here for 1 second. I will answer that in 1 second, because if I fall in the lava here, I will die. Everybody, this is a kind of a contentious obstacle in this game. I am literally just bouncing on these fish to stay alive, and their spawns are random, so you can improvise your way into death.
Oh my gosh, this is quite the screen here, Glitch Cat.
Yeah, this is a tough game. This is a tough one.
But look at all those one-ups.
Yeah, you know, I wanted you to get some fish right in the first level.
That was still a pretty good effort there from the first room. I can't wait to see the next attempt on that.
Yeah, this like I said, just trying to manage expectations. I'm going to die a bit on this. It's, you know, it's really difficult.
I think
also, like I said, I haven't played this in forever, so.
Most fans of Kaizo. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, good. No, you're fine.
I was going to say most fans of Kaizo are used to watching runners kind of take this trial and error approach, especially the first few playthroughs, or if it's just Rusty in general. I remember seeing people return to Grand Poo World 1, people returning to Invictus, and just having to watch that trial and error process go all over again, just because, you know, it's very difficult to remember a lot of these, and once you play one and you go through various other Kaizo games, do they all blend together after a while? That's my question for really all Kaizo players is does it all blend together after a bit?
It's kind of like, it's like a lexicon of skill. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like skateboarding or BMX or something. You learn the basics, and then you get iterative, right? So first you learn how to ollie, then you're ollieing down some stairs, then you're doing a kickflip, then you're ollieing flaming trash cans. You know, and you build up from the basics, and you make the basics more and more complex.
Yeah, I'm watching past Glitch Cat here as well, and I believe this is the next stage or the stage after. This game is really complicated. I'm looking at some of these tricks, and even past Glitch Cat is taking deaths. That's how difficult this game is, folks.
Yeah, this is, I mean, you know, jokes on me because I made it, and now I have to die on it.
I wouldn't have any regrets. I always seen the Kaizo games as it's a form of artwork. You know, we were talking about this a little bit during Return to Subcon. These are really forms of artwork, these mods that are being made just for someone who may want a little bit more of a challenge than the vanilla Mario games, for instance. All right, I'm giving Glitch Cat some serious time here.
I didn't get the fish. I didn't get the fish.
Yeah, anytime I'll see you go through that segment there, I'll give you a little bit of quiet, because that does take a lot of focus. You have to anticipate where those fish are coming from, otherwise it's just straight into the lava.
Yeah, sorry if I get a little quiet. I'm just trying to focus.
No, we're enjoying this. Very much so. And I don't want to talk too much through this segment. This is something.
I went for that. Oh,
Oh, no. That was so close. How much more is there after that?
A small amount.
Okay. So almost there.
I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to get some nerves out because I might really get my butt kicked here.
No need to be nervous. Everybody's having a good time enjoying this right now. You just have fun. You're already defeated your run for the night. You know, if this one gets mercy killed, you're 1-1. You are not contributing to the timer of winning tonight, so don't worry about that.
Okay.
If anything, it'll just be a tie.
This is the first time I've ever played this game for any kind of presentation run, so it's kind of special for me.
Aw, we're happy to do that.
There have been a lot of people who have been beating this game lately, and I'll give shout-outs to them properly when I can.
Every fish you get here is an extra fish for Mallow.
Okay, and then one more thing. Whew, okay, I made it. Hey.
Get your GGs out for stage 1. Glitch Cat here, stage 1 search for salmon. Very difficult fish section there. That's hype. That is so hype.
Right.
Nerves out of the way. You got this.
All right. Now we're good. Now everything's really easy. I only made the first level hard. This is Kiro Sewers. I named this after that level in Mario RPG, also called Kiro Sewers.
You have an explosion of GGs in chat. See, everybody's behind you.
Cool. No, thank you. I'd really like to give a shout out. There's a ton of players that have beaten this, and I'm personally really honored that some Kaizo players treat this game kind of as a badge of honor to beat, or to say like, well, someday I'd like to work up to being able to beat this game, and that's a real honor for me. Recently, Marcy August, Lungfish, and Woxic Taste all beat this game, and Arisen Dead getting close as well. So shout outs to them, and there's others that have done it as well, but they were the recent ones. And we build a bridge. Come on, build the bridge. Not done yet. H. Got it.
Yo. I like how you call that an H.
Yeah. In Super Mario World and in Kaizo, the checkpoint looks like an H, so we all just say H.
What was it with the checkpoint? You came out of the pipe and it killed you right away? Was that because you
Oh,
hit
if
B?
you're holding jump, there's a secret in that pipe. I'll show you. There's a secret. So there are 5 Bongo Kitty coins hidden in every level, and in order to get this one, you have to do that frame perfect clip jump, just like that.
Oh, that's cool.
So that would be for 100%. Yeah, I hid 5 gold kitty coins in every level. And I don't think anyone has ever done a full like single segment 100% run. So free world record. Although you do have to do a couple frame perfect tricks to get some of them. I made them hard.
Glitch Cat willingly giving up time on the timer during Mercy Kill to show some pretty cool rooms to the chat. That's dedication right there. Yo, GG, that is stage 2 for Glitch Cat, way quicker than stage 1. Well done.
Yeah, I think honestly it gets a little easier. I think this level is really hard, but the second level is easier. There are a lot of secrets in this game, actually, and there's some that some people haven't even really found. But yeah, if you look, there's a ton of secrets. One thing that I have on the 1.2 version, if you start a 2-player game, Mario starts on the regular overworld, but Luigi starts on a different overworld, and actually there's an entire ROM hack or ROM mod rather hidden inside this mod, which is all the levels that I rejected. So I made probably twice the amount of levels for this, and I rejected a lot of them for being bad or too tough or boring or any number of reasons really. but I like to use my rejected things. If I make a bad painting, tear it up. Now it's a cool collage. Stuff like that. So instead of just throwing them out, I stuck them all on their own island. And if you want, you can start the Luigi game, and there's actually a full mini game inside of this, which is all the rejected levels. I straight up would not recommend playing them. They're not good. They were rejected for a reason, but it is kind of a fun thing I hid in the game. There's also some secret message boxes and some hidden pipes and stuff to find. This level is particularly hard. This is a little take on a common thing in Kaizo. I call it off-brand star, kind of like Let's Potato Chips or Kmart brand, whatever. Because in a regular Ultra Star, you're moving on platforms on lines and stuff, and this one is kind of like that, but kind of not. So I thought it was kind of off-brand. Store brand.
I appreciate the off-brand reference.
Yeah, I've updated this game a couple of times, and in the original version, the message box at the end of this just said, "Get your hand off of my Let's." The rep from Community, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it ended up mystifying so many people. Like, what the heck are you talking about? Get your hand off my Let's? Like, what is this? So people were confused, and I changed it to be a helpful tip for the next version.
I kind of find that piece of trivia, it's a very enduring sentiment, though, you know? Like, oh my gosh, I love that. I wish that if you ever do another mod, that maybe you would put that back in somewhere, even if it's like an Easter egg room or something like that. I would love to see that reference back.
Yeah, the one. So I've made a couple of other SMW mods as well. I made Breakfast Kaizo 1 and 2, and Breakfast Kaizo 2 had an interesting thing where there was a secret meta game inside of it, and you found like riddles inside message boxes, and you did like a whole big meta puzzle with the riddles, and they were all like references to like 90s media and like silly 90s TV shows and stuff like Nickelodeon.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a question about like Hey Arnold and some other stuff like that. You were supposed to Google it, but then people just got like kind of mystified. I expected people to start Googling, but instead they tried to do it without solving anything. Oh, I tried for the fast strat. Dumb.
No, don't ever feel sad for trying fast strats. Come on now.
It's rhetorical. It's rhetorical. I want people to know. You know, it's rhetorical. I don't actually mean it.
This is a really cool level. You're picking up on it or picking it up again very quickly. So what is over that pipe once you get there?
The checkpoint.
Oh, that is the checkpoint. Okay.
I didn't mean to exit. Yeah, that's the checkpoint. Oy. And there are invisible blocks. Those little outlines that you see, those are telling you that there's an invisible block there.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 right at the checkpoint, and that's to make you do the jump in a really specific way. That's to make it so you have to do that. There's okay, you know what? There's a fast strat here. I'm going for it. Got it. Oh, and then I didn't get the checkpoint, dude.
No! Ah! No!
Oh.
That's okay. That's okay. You'll get back there.
That was actually funny. I've never died that way before. That was actually funny.
And remember, if you have that's never happened before on your bingo card, please be sure to check that one off for tonight. Every night we have one, I swear.
Yep, I don't think I've ever done that before. These brown platforms are kind of tricky because they fall really fast. They're supposed to be on lines. Normally in the original game they'd be on lines, but you can just set them in the air, and then as soon as Mario touches them, they just drop, and they're faster than the gray falling platforms. So that makes it a little bit more difficult. Oof.
These are really good attempts.
Yeah, this game is tough. You know, like I said, I specifically made this to be very difficult. I made this to challenge myself.
You're gonna get it soon. You're getting very consistent in this first part on the whole, so I got a good feeling we'll be seeing that H again soon. And hopefully you get it this time.
All right, I'm going for the fast strat again.
Oh no.
Oh, okay, I didn't get it. There's so the fast strat is that you would run, in there, and do like a weird little frame jump to destroy that bullet. And the slow strat would be you let the bullet chase you out of that tunnel, and then you destroy it to the left. Nobody really needs fast strats in this, but nonetheless, I built some in. Like just not dying is a fast enough speedrun strat.
I was going to say, that seems like a lot of Kaizo games. You know, you can go a long way just by completing the levels and not dying. And then from there, it's figuring out the speed strats.
Yeah, small optimizations can really make a difference for Kaizo speedrunning. But for the most part, it's just kind of don't die. Ugh.
And Glitchcat, like, what do you do when you're playing these games and you get up maybe mad or frustrated or upset? I mean, really at this point you don't have anyone to blame but yourself. And what does everyone go to? The person who made the game, but you made this, so that's like kind of a complicated feeling, right?
You know, it's more complicated because I'm like doing a performance. You know?
Yeah.
If it were just me hanging out, it's like, yeah, whatever. I died in my own game. On the one hand, like, yeah, I get that it looks kind of silly. Like, oh, what do you mean? Like, this guy made the game and he's dying on it. Like, yeah, I made it to be, like extra difficult, and challenging. And again, like, I haven't really played this in quite a while. Although I have been watching people clear it for their first time. So.
But that's part of the Mercy Kill experience, though, is that, these aren't games that are practiced. Again, at every GDQ, every main event, we see these polished and practiced games. And I always had wondered to myself when I was creating the concept for this show, what about all the other runs that we don't get to see? And there's a lot of runs out there that aren't polished, folks. If you haven't been out and about exploring people running games, there are a lot of runs out there that just, they die, and they die often, or they die to nonsense, or they die to glitches, soft locks. So I wanted to capture kind of part of that essence here on Mercy Kill. Granted, not the soft lock part. Keyzeron did a great job of that in episode 1, which I will never not give Keyzeron a hard time about what happened in episode 1 with the save file corruption. However, it makes for a really fun concept. And again, think about this more as like a showcase rather than a polished run, Glitchcat. This is really fun for everyone to watch. We're all having a good time over here.
Thanks. If anybody has any questions, and I know this gets a little repetitious, but if anybody has any questions about, Kaizo mechanics or some of the deeper tech that's going on, I'm quite a tech player, I guess. I really like, there, we got it. I like different tech, and I like doing a lot of different tricks. There's the H. So if anybody has any questions about that, sometimes I just forget to explain things, like the fact that a kicking Koopa will kick a grab block like that and make it active, so you can spin jump on it, which is all kinds of strange, but nonetheless how things work. So like, I don't know, this game goes by kind of quickly, and a lot of the tech can be kind of subtle, but like I said, like it's a lot like I like to use the skateboarding analogy. But you could really, anything, yo-yo, any kind of trick-based thing. Kaizo is a lot like that. I have to be careful about this jump.
All right, so there are some questions here.
Yeah, hit me up.
Ask Glitch about the choice of colored cement blocks for death blocks.
Yeah, so what you'll hear often in modding, especially with Mario, is people saying chocolate and people saying vanilla. Chocolate refers to, or vanilla refers to anything that was already present in the original game, and chocolate refers to extra stuff, a custom code, custom sprites, other things that were added that were not part of the original game. I like both, but as a maker, I very much like vanilla. And so this game is actually all vanilla. It's made out of pieces of the original game, just strung together. In a different way. The death cement blocks, I just thought kind of looked cool. Sometimes people will have little custom blocks with skulls on them or whatever. But the colored cement, I thought was just kind of a aesthetic choice on my part. And it's colored differently based on the overall palette of the level, just to kind of give it an extra vibe. So, here on a nice day level, we got the blue ones, and then later on there'll be different colors. They used to do that a lot more in older Kaizo hacks, or Kaizo games rather. They would have colored cement or just retextured things. And I kind of like that. I grew up with Super Mario World, and so I make a lot of my stuff based out of personal feeling, like I have a lot of personal time and history with the game. So I kind of put that into my creation. So I like it. Basically the colored cement is because I like the game looking like the original, you know? If anybody remembers, okay, so top secret area in Super Mario World, there's an island on the overworld, and it's right up on the map. Yata. It's right up on the map on the overworld. And it's right above top secret area. And it's just a little island, and there's nothing on it in the original game. There's no level, there's nothing, it serves no purpose. That bothered me as a kid when I played Mario World, and I tried and tried and tried and tried to find how to get to the level that was on that island. And so these days, it's kind of like everything I make, metaphorically, is on that island, you know? Like being a kid and just imagining about other levels. Ooh, what would another level be? What would it look like? Ooh, maybe there's, you know, piranha plants and swamps. Like, that was a mind-blowing thing. So, you know, having spent my whole life with Mario World, I mean, I got Mario World when I was 4 in '92, and I've played pretty much my whole life. So the stuff I make is representative of that kind of lifetime of feeling in it. Oof. There's one thing I want to point out here.
Yeah.
So the brown blocks are being eaten. This is a vanilla thing. In castle number 7, as well as Roy's castle, you have to ride on those brown block snakes. The eating sprite is attached to the end of those block snakes, but it doesn't need to be on a block snake. And whenever Mario touches a brown block, the eating sprite will activate, and it will start moving in a line and eating whatever blocks is in its way. What you can do is land on it, and since it's a sprite, not a block, it moves out from under you. But since the sprite and Mario are moving at different speeds, you can get P-speed, like that. And you can actually use those blocks. Oops, and that's what I'm doing there, is using that sprite block to generate P-speed. As far as I know, I was one of the first people to use this brown block trick in a game, rather. But I can't say for sure that I was the first one to do it. I like coming up with tech. I like exploring the possibilities for the elements, the vanilla elements in Mario World. And so I always like to try to show people something new when I make a hack.
All right, we have another question from the chat. How often do you test maps when you're building them? Or, hang on, it just scrolled. How often do you test maps when building them, or do you have people help you test it?
I constantly test. So testing for me, like making is playing and playing is making. I play everything like as I'm making it, and I test each obstacle multiple times with, you know, emulators and whatnot. Excuse me, while I'm making it. I've been a little bit bad on having playtesters. Other people that make mods will tend to have like a couple playtesters. My next mods, I will have more playtesters. But this one, I really just this was like self-expression, and I don't know. I don't know why, because it's been a couple of years, so I don't really know what motivated my decision not to have playtesters for it, but this one I didn't. But like I play everything while I'm building it. Like I'm sitting there with Lunar Magic is the name of the app that you can hack, you can modify Mario World with, and that has an emulator, and you can load up your game in an emulator. So I'll build an obstacle, or I'll put some stuff on the screen, and then I'll load up the emulator and test it. And okay, that was good, but the jump is too tight, so I move the block, test it again. Okay, that was good, but now I want to make it harder, so I add something. So it's kind of like this give and take. You know, I make a little bit, and then I see how it plays. And if I like how it plays, I can keep it in. And if I don't, then I'll edit something. It's a process of editing, really. It's a process of editing, and you know, just kind of like, I don't know, you got to be honest about your ideas. Sometimes I have an idea and it's just not working, and I think it would be so cool if we did, you know, this trick and then that trick, and for whatever reason, just doesn't work. So you kind of like, you got to be willing to sacrifice some good ideas in favor of making a solid game. This is actually, this level is harder than I remember it being.
By the way, you have just a little over an hour left on your timer, so I'm showing as somewhere around the 103 mark left.
Yeah, okay. I bet previous Glitch Cat is kicking my butt right now, but That's all right.
Yeah, previous Glitch Cat is in some kind of, I want to say it's a water level, but I always look out for that.
Wow, previous Glitch Cat is doing great. Let's see if we can get it.
Yeah, that is a water level. Yeah. Oh, okay. I have to ask because of past Glitch Cat here. Why did you make an auto scroller underwater?
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. Sometimes in my quest to come up with something fresh and interesting, I wind up just kind of making a monster of some sort. You know, Barrington Basin, the level coming up is, I think, one of the most contentious levels in the game, so much that I actually ended up slightly nerfing one of the obstacles in it from the version that you're seeing on the video. I think it's kind of cool, but I also really do understand why it's as contentious as it is for people, and that's why I gave it the nerf. Why did I do? I don't know, really. I just kind of like the idea of, because normally you're using the cape to either float or fly, and I kind of like the idea of using the cape in a different way, in just a completely different way that no one expected, nobody really thought of, and it's like you didn't see it coming.
So translated, this just means in meme form, I just thought it was kind of neat.
Well, I mean, that is true. I did think it was kind of neat. Gosh, this level is actually a little bit tougher than I remember it being.
Yeah, this is not easy. Let me see if there's... Let me see if there's any other questions I may have missed. All right, you'll have to tell me how to pronounce this. Fusoya. The question is, does Fusoya still work on it, or is it a community project now?
I think their name is pronounced Fusoya.
Fusoya. Okay.
I think that's how you pronounce it. They made Lunar Magic. A little while ago, I think a year or so ago, they did actually put out an update that had some more functionality for the editor and some larger. You can make the level area larger than you ought to be able to, and make it be different sizes and shapes. So I don't know if they're like very, very, very active, but they have updated fairly recently. Get on the spring, Mario! Come on.
Yeah, I never play. This is where I'm gonna get judgment passed on me. I've never played Final Fantasy IV before, so I never knew about that character. Or if I had, then I only played once, and it was years ago. But I don't recall.
Oh, that's a character from Final Fantasy.
Apparently, yeah, that's the lore that chat is.
News to me.
Yeah, it's news to me as well too.
Yeah, I'm embarrassingly not very well read when it comes to RPGs. I like Mario RPG, and Mallow the cat is named for Mallow from Mario RPG. For anybody wondering about that. Another
comment: Lunar Magic is 20. I feel old. Yeah, I feel old too. That's a mood right there. Oh, good stuff. You're getting further and farther each time here, Glitch Cat. This is just as you said. This is a pretty tough stage here.
This is Glitch Cat relearns his own game live.
I like it. I embrace it.
Come on! Oh man, who made this? Jeez.
I knew that was gonna come up at least once tonight. Oh goodness, Glitch Cat. Here's another good one. How often do you find ideas that you thought were amazing, but then you tested them out and it ended up being completely non-functional? That's interesting.
50-50-ish.
Yeah. You ever just get done with something and you're just like, nah, this is not good. This is not right. And you just kind of scrapped it.
My process is a lot. So I have this kind of rule for myself is like, I like what I'm making. And if I get to the point where I don't like what I'm making, what I say is back it up to the point at which I did like it. So maybe I'll start out making a level and I'll have a really good intro trick and I really like that trick. But then all of a sudden, I can't come up with anything else to do, and I've made 3 or 4 more obstacles, but none of them really work, and I don't really know what to do with it. So at that point, I think, okay, back it up to the intro trick again, and that usually helps me make good stuff. But it's kind of like I'm playing as I'm making it, so if something isn't working, I know ahead of time. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even put it in the hack until. But yeah, I mean, I've made tons of stuff that doesn't work. To answer that question, yes, all the time. Got him.
So
that room is actually pretty free. I wanted it to be a little bit easier. There's G.
It sounds like there's kind of a trial and error process. Yo, GG. It sounds like there's kind of a trial and error process, not to only completing the levels, but also to creating the levels as well.
Yeah, it's kind of like you put it in the oven and or like a kiln almost, you know, like I make an obstacle and I think, okay, maybe this is going to be good. And then I try it out in the game and I say, oh no, that's actually terrible. And, you know, and then you refine it a little bit. Oh, now it's too easy. You know, then it was too hard. This is one of my favorite levels in the game. This is, I really, really like the tricks in this. And you'll see a little bit more of this if we get to various dragons. But this is Jugamu Landing. I really like this level a lot.
I like the colors. This is definitely the most like vibrant and bright level so far out of all.
Yeah, I wanted it to be a nice bright day. So this has some of my favorite tricks. This has shell tricks, and I absolutely love, as you may see later, absolutely love shells. I really, really like. I like all the bounce combos. I like the midair control. I like kind of taking the platforming out of Mario. Like, not that the platforming isn't cool, but it's extra cool to just kind of divorce it entirely from what it's supposed to be. There are levels that do a lot of stuff with cape in a similar way, where you're just flying over all these wild obstacles. And I like shells for the same reason. You get to kind of feel like an acrobat almost, like you're up on a high wire, you know, doing flips and stuff like that, because you're always above the pit and you're always just one slip away from falling. And that feels very exciting to me. And it feels a lot like extreme sports.
I like that.
Oh.
All right, so we have another question. How do you play test levels like this to make sure they're doable? And what kind of criteria do you really base that on? You know, what is the criteria between, okay, this is too difficult, and okay, we'll try to make this work?
Well, that's kind of a subjective scale. You know, what I always tell people about making Kaizo is try not to build too far above your own skill level, but at the same time, it's good to try to challenge yourself. It all really depends. And, you know, like art, people have different styles for what they like, what they might want to tolerate, you know, what they think is good or fair. You know, generally speaking, I want to be able to get the trick a few times. If I make a setup and I try to test it and I only nail the trick once and I'm all the time, if I get annoyed, you know, and I have a pretty decent patience for some of these tricks, but if I start getting annoyed, then that's probably not a good idea. Also, you know, you can listen to playtesters. They have other skill sets, other opinions, and they might help you notice something. The goal is kind of to try your best, and it doesn't always work this way, but try your best to kind of get out of your own head, because it's very possible to make something that you played it in a very specific way, and you can't really communicate how you did that to the player, and so the player winds up feeling kind of baffled, and it's easy to do that. Yeah, no death on the H. All right.
All right.
It's easy to do that. So you kind of want to like just kind of get out of your own head. You know, you want to make something, and then you try to think of it like, how would another player think of this? So, you know, how do you know if it's good or bad or whatever? It's kind of subjective, and I think the more skilled you get, the more cool stuff you can do. So, you know, this is me trying to do like flashy tricks. You know, I've always said if it doesn't look cool, or if it's difficult, it should look cool, because then the audience gets to see some kind of a thrill, to see a cool trick or something. So I like to try to focus on visual flair and making stuff kind of have like a cool visual pop to it. I need that.
Now, have you ever play tested for somebody else? And if so, what would you do if you play tested somebody else's mod or level and you were just like, I don't know how people would feel about that. Like, what does a conversation like that even look like? Because I couldn't imagine. It would be very difficult to critique because everything is art and everything's subjective, right?
Yeah.
So, like, that seems like such a difficult and kind of sensitive process almost because, again, this is critiquing somebody's artwork, but you also want it to be accessible and you have to think about your audience, right? So, is this only going to be for casual players? Is this supposed to be for the more general public? I take a look at Return to Subcon and I see that as a very much a general public game. Like, yeah, it's going to take some effort, but I feel like that's pretty accessible compared to something like this or Grand Pool World, one of Barb's mods, for example, where it's going to take a little bit more and you're going to have to know a little bit more about the game's physics in order to get through some levels.
Yeah, I mean, I playtest a lot. I very often, I've beaten probably over 200 Kaizo games at this point, and I'm familiar with more or less all of them. I playtest for kind of like, yes, I have playtested. Most recently, I tested for Third Wall's game, Mostly Harmless, and Arcane Mario World, which will be coming out pretty soon. You're right. It's kind of a gray area, with testing, and you want to be respectful, and you want to, know that like, well, other people have other styles and like other things that you might not. So I kind of look for. It's really hard to say because I'm trying to think of a good answer while I'm doing this. Oh, whoops. It's like I try to just like focus on the trick itself. Like I try to really put into words what's wrong as a tester or what the trouble I'm having is. Like maybe the trick isn't like bad, but maybe I didn't know what to do. So I point that out instead of saying, oh, this is bad. Or, instead of saying, oh, well, this whole obstacle is bad, you should get rid of it, say like, well, it's a little bit tight and I keep bonking my head, I think the more accurate you can be as a playtester about what the problem is and why you're dying, and the more specific you can be, I think the more helpful you can be too. Because then people get real feedback instead of, oh, this is bad, I don't like it, it's too hard. Well, what does that mean? It's too hard. What do I do to fix that? You got to give them real stuff, So I try to treat other people's games in the same way that I would treat someone else's music or art, which is first and foremost, show me what you got. Like I want to see what you did. I want to see what your imagination gave you. Oh, right. I don't do the trick right there. Whoops. You can tell I didn't practice this. But I like to see, like, show me what you made. I want to see what's in your imagination. I want to go on the trip that you've built for us, And so I try to approach feedback and playing other things with a learner's mindset.
I think that's really good perspective. I mean, we see the product of all of these games oftentimes, and we consume and we watch. Oh, sorry, I couldn't help my reaction there. And we consume the products of these games, but we never think about what exactly goes into the entire process, from concept to artwork to play testing to target audience to difficulty. There's so many steps that go between the concept to the actual to the finished product, and even showcasing and performance of said finished product. So I'm really happy that we have you here to kind of talk about these intricacies, because as a mod developer, we don't get this insight all the time. So I'm learning a lot just from listening to you.
Yeah, I mean, level design is a lot, and making a game, there's a lot that goes into it, and I like to think like everyone's an amateur here, and I don't mean that as a dig. I mean, I am as well, right? And so we're all learning, and we're all having these conversations about level design. And I often like to say too that Kaizo is a word like jazz. It's the style of breaking the rules. And if you can come up with a cool way to break some convention, or to do something differently, or to turn some idea on its head, cool, do it. It's you got to learn the rules so you know how to break them. And that being so multifaceted, Like I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's a very big topic. You know, what is good level design? What is fair level design? And it's ultimately something that you get to interpret. You know, like some people might look at this hack and go, wow, or this game and go, you know, wow, this is so unfair. And I guess they're kind of right in a way, but it can be fair if you have the skill, and you know, it's still difficult, but like your skill can mediate fairness. You know what I mean? It might be unfair depending, like it's like you probably like even a casual distance runner might not want to run as much as an Olympic athlete, you know, and running that much might seem like torture to them, but not to someone that does that professionally. There's the trick.
There you go.
So that trick, I call that the yellow shell trick, and I put that in at the end of this level right before I released the game because I thought it was cooler than the original ending that I had. I really like that trick. I don't know if I'm exactly the first one to do it, but I'm really proud of it, and that was the first time I had seen that. So I like to think I added a little bit something to the shell tech lexicon. This is a really cool level, and I enjoy it, but it's definitely giving some people some hard times. This is Disco Sucks.
We are doing a quick time check here. You have about 45, a little bit of change left on this. So again, we both knew this would be difficult, but again, I'm really happy you brought this on Mercy Kill. Even if this does get Mercy Killed, I'm learning so much about mods and the process behind it. And I actually had another question, you know, amidst our conversation. Has Mario Maker changed the way that modders look and evaluate mods before releasing them? Do you think that has had any impact? You know, that we're seeing such a variety of levels now, thanks to things like Mario Maker 2, etc.
Mario Maker, I'd say, has definitely had an impact. I don't know. Yes, has Mario Maker had an impact for sure? You know, Mario Maker, Lunar Magic can be a difficult thing to learn. Sometimes there's just a lot that goes into it, and a lot of little complexities. Mario Maker makes that a lot easier for people, obviously. And Mario Maker brought a lot of different styles to the table. You see, oftentimes in Mario Maker, there's those very intensive levels where you're just throwing shells and springs everywhere, and everything's going haywire. And that wasn't seen as much in mods before Mario Maker, but after Mario Maker, it's certainly come into prominence a little bit more. I love and welcome all Mario Maker friends to come and innovate the space in SMW as well. I think it's wonderful. The Team Shell hack game that just came out recently is a really good example of that, kind of bridging the gap between Mario Maker style and SMW kind of ROM style. So this is it. This is Barrington Basin. This is the contentious underwater level. Golly, why did I do this? I really, I ask myself. I ask myself this. We'll see. Honestly, if I can get through this level, I was worried. This was the one I was worried about. This was the one that might determine whether or not I get Mercy killed on this game.
Really? So you still think you're fairly on pace right now?
Yeah, actually, not too bad.
Cool.
So something I wanted specifically for this game, and this is something, you know, another, like I said, level design, game design is such a big topic, and I love to be a part of the ongoing conversation about that with the community. You know, we're innovating, we're coming up with new ideas, we're breaking the rules, you know, in order to make something new and evolve the game a little bit. But wait, I had a point. Wait, I'm sorry, where was I? I lost my train of thought.
You let me know.
This one's hard. Innovating. Wait, sorry. This is, I gotta like think about this one.
I did have some other questions if you can't remember.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, I just completely. Hi, I'm a streamer. You might remember me from such as. What was I just talking about?
There's a couple of really great ones, and again, please keep some of these very insightful questions coming, y'all. What makes a Kaizo mod Kaizo?
Good question. Like I said, Kaizo is a word to me, and you're getting my opinion with this, right? Like I don't have the objective answer, but Kaizo is a word like jazz. You know, we know in jazz music, there's a style. You know, there's some things that are typical, but also you want to break the rules and come up with something fresh and new. And not only is jazz a formulaic type of style, but it is the very style where you get to interpret those rules. When does something become a kaizo or not a kaizo? Kind of up to us. Typically, kaizo games, tend to be set up like an Ultimate Ninja Warrior sort of thing, where every obstacle has. You really think of it like a Ninja Warrior obstacle course. First you climb up the stairs, and then you jump across the bricks, and then you climb up the rope, and then you get through all the other things. But there's like one thing to do. You just either climb the rope or don't climb the rope and make it to the top. Kaizo obstacles tend towards being like that. Now, as soon as I say that, there are people who are going to reinterpret, right? And reinterpret that whole idea to, make it be a little bit different, give it a little bit more leniency, Kaizo with a twist. But in general, you can think of Kaizo as sort of an Ultimate Ninja Warrior. There's one way to get through this obstacle right now, which is swim real fast, and if you made it, cool. If not, you didn't make it. So single solution obstacles that are difficult can be a generally speaking, that tends to be a Kaizo. Compare that to the original Mario world where, you've got a wide open space. But this is a really good example here. There's one thing to do in all of these sections, right? That if I don't do the exact one thing, then I'm toast, right? That is something that's pretty typical of the Kaizo genre. However, like I said, people are reinterpreting that. So in general, Kaizo really just means difficult, modified Mario. And, how difficult and how modified is kind of, it's up to us.
That's a pretty good, substantial answer to that. And this, again, kind of goes between Mario Maker and Lunar Magic. How does Mario Maker and Lunar Magic compare to one another in terms of complexity? Are there some things that you can do on one that you can't do with the other? And if so, How does that change the way we make mods versus Super Mario Maker levels?
Well, I like to say, and this is not a dig on Mario Maker, first of all. I came from Mario Maker. I greatly respect the skill and the creativity of the players. Mario Maker, that being said, Mario Maker is kind of like the Ross Art craft set, where you get so many watercolors and so many crayons, and you get a little box of craft supplies, and that's all you get, right? You can't really get in and tweak. If you got crayons, excuse me, you got crayons, but you want to do acrylic paint, there is no acrylic paint in the art set, so you just can't do that. With Lunar Magic, you can do anything you want. And that gets difficult because you're using custom code, ASM assembly, the language that Mario's written in. And you can, this is, for example, Mario Maker, you can't change the graphics. You can use, night theme, day theme, but there's only so many. In Mario World, you're free to change them into whatever you want. No palette editing, for example, in Mario Maker, so you couldn't have like a green underground area. And that influences level design because on the one hand, Mario Maker is easier to use, the tools are easier and more accessible, but they're more limited. On the other hand, Lunar Magic is a little bit more difficult to use, but the trade-off for that is that you get more power to design and really, make custom things that you want. Whereas Mario Maker, you're rearranging stuff that's already there. So Mario Maker, accessible but limited. Lunar Magic, less accessible but more powerful. And I think Mario Maker has especially had the effect of just getting people into this kind of thing. There are a lot of people who started out with Mario Maker or got building with Mario Maker and then have come over to SMW and maybe do both. Big shout outs to Space Pig, someone I know who walked both paths and did a ton of Mario Maker and now is doing SMW stuff as well. But it really helped for visibility, and I think it's a good thing to have Mario Maker because the tools are easier to use. You get to get your feet wet before you, that trick is so hard. You get to get your feet wet with level design before you get all the complexity, you know? It's the difference between having a craft set and having an art store, I suppose. Does that make sense? Or
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
no, I like the discussion about relating this to art. We've been talking about this all night so far, and I really feel like it's a very appropriate way to talk about this. I mean, this is somebody's artwork. Someone has taken the time. There's stylistic things with it. There's all different kinds of criterion that we can critique it. This is its own form of art, and we really need to celebrate that and kind of talk about the different ways in which we engage with this artwork. So I'm glad we've taken that approach to this in our discussion of Kaizo so far this evening.
Thank you. I agree. You know, it might seem weird. It might seem weird, you know, for me to be playing something like this and say, "Oh, this is art. I made this to be self-expressive or whatever," but it's true. You know, I really do like to express myself and what I consider to be beautiful about the form. You know, when I pick up my guitar, I want to show what I consider to be beautiful about music and tone. When I make a ROM, I'm showing what I consider to be beautiful, even though it is kind of difficult and hard. So I feel personally like it's maybe, especially with the difficulty, because most people look at this and might be like, why would you ever want to do this? You know, who would make this? Why? And it might be hard for them to get in their head that, yeah, like people do like this and this really is a thing. And so I felt like it's kind of an uphill battle sometimes to convince people like, yes, this really is fun. Yes, I really do enjoy it. Like, no, I'm not just trying to frustrate everyone. You know, it's been a little bit difficult to get out from under the, I guess you could say the shadow of masochism, that someone might look at this and say, oh gosh, this looks so hard. Why would anyone do this? It looks like torture. Like, not to me, you know, like it's difficult. Yeah, but I like it too. You know, it's the same thing like high level skateboarding or anything else, you know. Why would you ever want to ride your skateboard down 20 stairs and, you know, you might fall and hurt yourself? Like, yeah, true, but I like it, you know, and I know how to be safe about it. So, you know, it's I stick up for the art side of it, and I try to treat people in our community that way. I know there's many people that feel the same, and I try to look at the art first and the difficulty second, even if it's you know, very, very, very hard. No, please. That trick is so difficult. So what I'm trying to do there, for anyone that doesn't really get what's going on, I'm trying to activate that P switch underwater, moving, and that is not easy to do.
For those of you that might be new here, I've seen a couple questions in the chat right now. This is Mercy Kill, so take everything you know about GDQ's polished runs and just get rid of that expectation. Mercy Kill is about people trying to complete a game after being what we call rusty at a game after a little while. So what you typically see on this channel are polished runs of people who have practiced and finished stuff. Mercy Kill is about the unpolished and rusty runs and what happens to runs after you haven't played them for a certain amount of time. And this is the result. Runners pick their own estimates, and we just see if they can beat their own estimate. We only show the PB in the corner for nostalgia's sake and to see, you know, where they were a few years ago, but it's really more about, can the runner still defeat the game? And in the case for these Kaizo mods, that is still not the case. As I was talking about in the beginning, as a disclaimer, it is very difficult to even just complete a Kaizo game after years, or even 1 year of being separated from it. So I think GlitchCat, regardless of whether or not the run lives or is mercy killed, GlitchCat has done a phenomenal job here of, you know, completing a lot of these levels. I know GlitchCat's gonna be hard on himself later, be like, oh, I could have done better, and that's when I'm gonna give GlitchCat a hard time, and it's his friend be like, yo, you did a wonderful job here. I mean, even just getting past that first level with all the nerves was, okay, I don't understand that. I'm sorry, I saw how you got on the P switch, but then the screen still squished you there.
Yeah, so the thing about fast auto scrollers, and that's what this is, it's the fast version. This is not used in the regular game, but it is possible to have with vanilla assets. The thing about fast auto scroller is it treats the left side of the screen like a kill plane. So it looks like I'm actually touching the left, but I'm not. I'm getting pushed along right in front of it. And if I were to touch the left for any reason, I would just get squished. So that's what the P switch is doing. It's pushing me into the left there.
Okay, I see that. So, oh my gosh, this is so intense. Like, the screen, how do you keep up with this? Is it just muscle memory after a while?
Well, you know, it's kind of like the battle. Wow, I got really far through that. I was supposed to damage boost there. That was really cool, actually. Wow, never done that before. It's kind of like the Battletoads Turbo Tunnel. That's kind of what I was thinking of for this one. You know, it's coming at you fast, and a little bit of memorization, a little bit of reaction. It's not too tough once you know what's coming up, but until you do, yeah, you're gonna run into some walls and stuff. This is the hard level. This was the one I was concerned about for the run, and this was the one I thought if anyone would hang me up for a long time, it would be this one. This is probably, and I think most people would agree, this is one of the most contentious levels. But then if we actually, honestly, I'll be surprised if we get out of this and the next one, because the next level after this is, I think, even harder. But then it gets a little easier. So where am I at on time?
Let's take a look real quick. So I'm seeing about 32 and change right now. So it's getting there. I think you got a chance if you get out of this level soon.
We'll see. Yeah, honestly, I very well may end up spending the next 30 minutes here, but hopefully not.
I'm gonna consider it, well, not officially a win because I need to be honest with the timer and how the rules of the show work. I'm going to consider it a moral victory if you get past this stage alone.
Cool. Yeah, this is tough. I know it's a little grindy. That's why I say, like, this is not marathon safe.
No. That's understandable.
Not at all marathon safe.
But it still has a place in the showcase, in my opinion, because this is fantastic. I've been enjoying this.
No, I'm really happy to be able to show this off. Thank you. That P-switch trick is very difficult. And the thing with the auto scroller too is, like, you have to do it at the pace of the auto scroll. So auto scrollers are kind of generally not liked as much because you just have to go kind of slow. You have to do one thing after the other.
So for those wondering what's coming up, because there's been some questions about what's going on after this, we actually have a mod that's going to be split into 4 parts. We're not going to be counting it officially against the timer versus runner competition, but think of it as, you know, these are like novellas in terms of Kaizo mods. And the other thing that we're about to do is, like, think of it as like 4 poems almost. And so the last part is we're going to be timing each run of 15 minutes apiece, and we are just going to see how far a glitch cat can get in each one. And because we don't want to count those as an entire run, we won't count it against the save kill timer, but we wanted to feature a little bit more of glitch cat's work, so we were sure to kind of come up with that compromise. So coming up after this, there will be a break after this, but then we will have 4 shorter individual stages. No, my gosh. No, that was so close.
It'll get you.
So the last set of mods is called Various Dragons, and once we get into that segment, we'll talk about what that means more. But yeah, still a little bit more on the way from Glitch Cat's work even after this, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, y'all are kind of seeing a progression of my stuff from commercially acceptable with Subcon to, like, this is as hard as I could think of with this game to, like, no one should even try this with Various Dragons. You know, there's, like I said, there's some stuff that I make for other people. There's some stuff I don't make for other people, and there's some stuff I make just for me. And, you know, I release it because I know other people, you know, enjoy playing it sometimes, but it's not, like, supposed to be a challenge for everybody else because I know how ridiculously hard it is. And in fact, there's only 1 person that I know of, or 2 rather, that have beaten all 4 of the levels in Various Dragons. So I might honestly, I might not beat any of them. We might mercy kill all 4 of them. We shall see. But this is, like, kind of like non-commercial, not marathon expectable difficulty.
But they can still have a place on the showcase, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to feature that. So there was a question, and I think I understand what's going on enough to answer is, why is Glitch Cat not grabbing the first goal post? And here's the reason why. If you grab that, I'm pretty sure Glitch Cat will die.
Yes, that is correct. Like I said, the left side of the screen is a kill plane on the fast auto scroller, and I'm basically just using that first goalpost as a wall. I could just as easily have a wall there, but I thought the goalpost was funnier. If you were to touch that goalpost, you would just get squished before you could actually clear the level. It's doing exactly the same job as a wall. It's just funnier than a wall. That's literally the only reason why it's a goalpost. All right, come on. Got it.
Did you really? Hang on, I'm
Yes.
watching it, I'm waiting. Oh my gosh!
All right.
Oh my gosh, GG!
Whew. I forgot what to do with the Fugu ending, but I remembered right in time.
Proud of you!
Very cool.
What an
All right.
accomplishment!
All right. So this coming up is the hardest level in the game by far. After this, they get a little bit easier. I did do a small nerf on the end of this level because it wound up being harder than I intended. But this is ultra fuzzy. I really like this level, but I know what this is. This is super difficult. Everybody that plays this game, I think, spends the most time here. I really like it though. So there's that.
This is funny because I see this all the time. So I spend a lot of time watching Kaizo mods and streams. So someone had said the one time I look away, yeah, you cannot afford to look away during these, okay? During any of these mods because you're gonna miss the good parts. You better consistently be watching if you want to catch all the action there. And again, you're not the first person to have that experience. It's just the way watching and consuming these mods go.
Yeah. So this is oh boy. The second half of this level, this is so tough. I just really want to point that out. I think this is the level where I'm sure I overpunched when I was trying to make this game difficult. I am very sure I overpunched here. But yeah, it's tricky. One thing you might not notice, there's ice physics in this. So all the flat surfaces that I'm standing on will actually make me slide. If I can get through this, I can probably get through the rest of the game fairly quickly. This is the run killer. Oof.
Alright, so let me take a look at the timer for you again really quickly here. I am showing 26 and change right now. How many stages are left in this?
This one and 3 more. And a boss.
And you said some of them were a little easier though than these two.
Yeah. So what I wanted for the difficulty curve here, and I think this is what I was going to say before when I lost my train of thought. There's an idea that says the game should just keep getting harder and harder and harder and harder. Difficulty curve is on the rise, stonks as it were. I don't like that so much. That's not really me. What I wanted to do, I want the player to get to the end of the game and I want them to feel good. I want them to not just crash into the final level and, oh gosh, I finally made it. That was so hard. So I put tough levels in the beginning and tough levels in the middle. And then the final levels are actually a little bit easier, in my opinion. And I think in the opinion of most people that have played this, they're a little bit easier. And that's because, like, I want you to kind of coast into the end. You know, I don't want you to have to struggle. I want the player to feel good. And when they win, I want them to have, feel like they have some wind in their sails, you know? And I think that's in my opinion, I like that type of difficulty curve. You know, the hard stuff is in the middle. And then you get to win, you know? I really do want to give the player a win. As hard as this is, I want it to feel good to beat. And I want to at least try to communicate that, like, hey, I am kind of on your side. I'm not trying to just destroy you. And that's, you know, that's that thing, like I said, the shadow of masochism that hangs over Kaizo, that, oh, you must be, you know, you must just like torturing people. Like, nah, really, you know? Like I might laugh a little if you die, but I don't want people to be frustrated and upset, you know?
So in terms of mods, do you feel like every single creator or artist has a signature on it? Like yours is, I want it to be able to be beatable, but I also want people to be able to enjoy that. Do you feel like everybody has like their own, like, if you've played enough, this is the artist signature? And if so, what is yours? Is that you want to challenge, but you still want it to be able to be beatable?
Yeah, totally. Everybody kind of has their own signature, in the same way that, you know, skateboarders kind of have their own style. Everybody does a kickflip differently. Rock and roll guitar players, you know, maybe playing the same scales but in a different way. yeah, there are definitely lots of voices and different styles in the community. To be honest, I'm not sure where I fit in. I think my stuff is a little bit older seeming. You know, I come from a little bit of an older time in modding and speedrunning and stuff. I mean, I got active in like video game Superplay back in 2010. So I think like I don't know, maybe like a little archaic, I guess, a little bit old school is kind of my style, but old school with cool tricks. I think there's still a lot of stuff to be done with the vanilla assets in the game. And so I don't know, like, I guess maybe that would be a better question for other people, really. Like, what is GlitchCat's style? But I feel like my style is kind of like, I like to say like maybe like elegant old school.
Okay.
I like my stuff to remind me and others of the original game. You know, hey, this is original Mario World, except for its, you know, ridiculous, outrageous future original Mario World.
Also, about a minute or so ago, everybody get your GGs out for Pass GlitchCat.
Oh, did he win?
Yeah, Pass GlitchCat. Got the cat, the salmon. Got Mallow some salmon, so.
Oh, good job, Past GlitchCat. Good job.
So, okay.
Yeah, I had a PB, and that PB that y'all saw is on the speedrun.com page for it. But you know, as a creator, I always just felt kind of awkward, like running my own game. You know, like, oh, who has the world record? Oh, the guy that made it. You know. So what I wanted to do with my PB on this is I've never tried to lower it. I think about because I really like arcade games, like high score arcade games, and something you notice on arcade games is they have default high scores. You know, like when you turn the machine on. And for example, on Millipede, my favorite game, the default high score is 89,000, and it's right below 90,000, and it's to get you to try to beat it. You know. And you know, oh, you could get 90,000, right? It's right there. And so I like my 1 hour 6 minute PB because it makes a sub 1 hour tantalizing. You know, like, oh, you know, could you beat the dev? Like, so I want people to beat the dev. You know, that's like another thing. Like, I want you to have fun. I want you to be like, oh yeah, beat GlitchCat on it. You know.
All right, so we have a 3-parter coming up. What is your, and I assume this pertains to the Super Mario World engine, what is your favorite custom boss? What is your least favorite? And which do you think is overused? That's a good question.
Ooh, favorite custom boss. I love custom bosses, but some of them can be rough. Most overused, probably the Spiny. The Spiny boss from SMW Central. Some of my favorites, though, are... Oh my gosh, I love Kaizo bosses, actually. I would love like a whole Kaizo boss rush game sometime. I love the boss from Storks and Elephants and Crocodiles, as well as Elephants and Snakes and Crocodiles by a maker named Morsel. That's a really amazing Big Boo custom fight where you're pressing R to spawn grab blocks in your hand and you're dodging thwomps and things so they go around. Kaizo 3 Bowser is amazing. I love it. I know that's hard to believe, but I actually really do. I love the improv, and I just think it's such a phenomenal fight. The Grand Poo World 2 Bowser is just amazing. The boss, recently I played Boogie Wonderland by a maker named Baba Yaga, and it has a really cool custom Ludwig boss at the end. I won't spoil too much for those that haven't played the game yet, but it's really good. D to the Fourth, our good pal who made the Subcon engine, also does custom ASM, and they're on Patreon, and they've made a lot of really excellent bosses as well. But hey, I also wanted to mention we're out of Ultra Fuzzy, and all right, so there is actually a chance that I could finish this game and not get Mercy killed, but I think it will be pretty close.
You have less than 20 to go, by the way. I didn't mean to interrupt, but you do have less than 20 to go, so.
Okay, well, it'll be pretty close then.
Okay.
I think it'll be pretty close, because now from here on out, in my opinion, the levels get easier. This one, I guess, has been kind of a sticking point too for people. I think it's kind of easy, but there's tech in it that, can make it a little tough if you're not familiar with the tech. But I named this level Chicxulub Crater, which is a reference to a real crater called the I think Chicxulub, I think that's how you pronounce it. But it's the crater made by the impact that supposedly killed the dinosaurs. So I named my Yoshi level after it. Oh, please, come on. So yeah, there's 3 levels to go. This one and 2 more in the game. So we may, I don't know. I'm trying my best, but we may.
Did the 3 levels include the boss? Like, is the boss a level?
No, there's this level and then 2 more full levels and then a boss. The boss is pretty easy. I shouldn't have too much of a time with it, but maybe. Oh, Yoshi, come on.
But still, I mean, did you honestly think, based on our past conversations, that you were even going to make it this far in the run?
No, actually, I expected to die much more often and much sooner. Actually, if I'm being real. Like I said, I haven't practiced this. But I have been watching people clear it. The thing with Kaizo is, it's consistency. And we talk about that a lot in the sight reading races that we have every Saturday on RHR is, you can do the trick once, but can you do it enough times to get consistent? I need to get to the checkpoint, which means I need to be consistent enough at all the stuff that's coming up here. And you hear Kaizo players talk about maybe like a death loop. Getting into a death loop or something, and that's like, I need to get to the obstacle that's 3 or 4 obstacles later in the level, except I just can't get past this first one. And that can kind of get rough and eat up a lot of time. So I honestly expected to death loop a little bit more. I really like this Yoshi trick. It's one of my favorite tricks in the game. The Yoshi shell jump to eat the spring through the wall. And then spit it back out. I really like that. Oh, too low. So there's something here that I want to mention. And this is all over the place in Kaizo. This is in Real Mario World. One of the fundamental things that I like challenging is what I call jump articulation. And that's just kind of a fancy way for saying that there are a lot of different jump trajectories that you can make based on how you press the button. And one bit of tech that Kaizo players are using all over the place, and which I'm using everywhere here, is called regrabs. The principle is that Mario falls more slowly when you are holding jump in the air. So a jump where you hold down the button the entire time will take more time than a jump where you press and let go. But by unpressing and repressing the button, basically double tapping your jumps, you can get a jump with a low vertical that has a long horizontal. And being able to control different jump trajectories and manipulate your fall is a huge and vital skill in all Kaizo. And it's something that I am particularly challenging here. A lot of players have always said, like, oh, this is the hack of regrabs. And they're not wrong, because I like challenging fundamentals like that. Like, are you good enough at jumping that you can do something easy but in a tricky way? And I like kind of putting that spin on it.
Dang, I want you to make this so badly, but when you tell me there's still a couple more stages left, I'm like, no, because I want to see more of this, and I'll have to go back and watch your PV.
Yeah, I'm trying. We'll see.
I'm really impressed with the gameplay here, win or lose at this point. This has been an absolute delight to watch.
Thank you. Oh, that's a hard one. Man, coming up is one of my favorite tricks, though. I'm trying to get there. I spent about 5 to 6 months, 7 months working on this game, and I guess that's enough time to get good at it.
Is there any level or any moment in this mod that you're absolutely like, yo, I did that. That was awesome?
Oh, how do you mean, like?
Something that you're really just proud of and you're happy that you were able to make work.
I'm really proud of this level, actually. I really like a lot of the setups in it, and I wanted to do a Yoshi level that kind of wasn't like other Yoshi levels. Oh, I like that trick whenever I get it. That's a really fun one. Honestly, this level I'd say is the one I'm most proud of. I really like that shell jump to the spit setup is cool, and I like a lot of the subtlety involved with this one.
Would you ever
Man, the
consider
shell.
going back to this game and running it? Are you interested in that at all?
I will always be playing this game for showcases and things, but I just don't really feel it proper to compete for the world record on my own game. I want that to be there for someone else, you know? There's plenty of games. Okay, wait, here we go. There's plenty of games out there for other people. Or, you know, there's plenty of games out there made by others. That I can run. And I don't know. I just never felt like it was proper to speed run my own game. You know, it's for somebody else.
I think this is a pretty interesting comment. The amount of, you know, Yoshi getting hacked or Yoshi going into a pit is, in most Kaizo-style mods, is kind of a sad thing. Do you ever think there should be something that revolves around you have to keep your Yoshi throughout the entire level? I can't remember one offhand, but I'm sure it exists out there somewhere.
There are levels like that, just about everything under the sun. Although, I will add that my personal headcanon for Yoshi is that Yoshi is a stunt dinosaur. And Yoshi is just there to take falls and help Mario look good. So there's pillows down there. Yoshi is fine. He just falls down and, you know, makes it look all convincing and then gets back up and gets back in the egg again. For the next scene, Yoshi can swim in the lava. He's just making it look convincing so that it looks all cool and Mario looks good. But he's just a stunt dinosaur, so he's actually fine. That's my way to get around because I'm a save the animals guy myself. So. Oh
yeah. Whenever save is up for those GDQ incentives, I'm typically towards save myself. Except, you know, when I'm hosting and if the one needs to catch up to the other, then I have to plug kill the animals sometimes. But if y'all know the lore from this, you know I'm always team save. But sometimes for the sake of charity, I have to plug kill. You know, that's just the way it goes. We've had Save versus Kill the Yoshi as well. Speaking of GDQ incentives, way far back with some of the Mario Maker incentives involving that too. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else about this game we want to talk about, because we can still talk about modding throughout the last few stages that we have coming up in the next segment. But I'm trying to think if there's anything specific to this game that we have not covered yet, as we have about 10 minutes left to go on the timer here at Mercy Kill.
All right, we'll see. You know, with this game, I know that it can be a little contentious with the difficulty. Oh, hold up. Oh, I didn't make it.
No!
But we get to read a quote. But we get to read a quotation from J.R.R. Tolkien instead. But you know, I know that the difficulty here, you're supposed to spin jump through this. I know that the difficulty in this game can be a little bit contentious, and not everybody wants to play something like this. And I just want to say, I guess, that like I really understand that, and I don't know, like I've been talking about, like the shadow of masochism that hangs over this all. Like, I didn't make this to torture people. I didn't make this to give everybody a bad time. I didn't make this to laugh at people and troll people. It sometimes does that, but you know, that's not why I made this. And I guess if I could offer one takeaway from this or for other games, it's that Kaizo has evolved a lot from being the genre of just messing with your friends and being mean and, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, we still do have trolls and surprise things, but there's a true art and technical elegance to playing and making this stuff now. And if I could leave everybody with one thing, it's that not a lot of Kaizo makers are really just trying to make garbage. You know, we're having fun, we're making art, we're expressing what we think is interesting or beautiful, and having a couple laughs along the way. But you know, if I could speak to one idea, it would be I wish that Kaizo would be regarded more as extreme sports, you know, kind of like the X Games, as opposed to let's kill our friends and make everybody miserable. You know, there's a lot of fun, there's a lot of artistry, and there's a lot to love about Kaizo that sometimes gets missed in the midst of death blocks and tricks. Speaking of tricks, there were 4 Kaizo blocks just to trick you if you try to go for that checkpoint. So granted, there are still some tricks, but I'd like to speak to the artistry of it all, and remind everybody that underneath all the tricks and difficulties, there's real people making real skillful art, and it is certainly possible to enjoy something like this, even though it's difficult. Why would you ever want to do something this hard? At the top levels, lots of things get this hard. Why would you ever want to skateboard or snowboard down a big steep mountain? Same kind of thing. So I guess if I could leave everybody with one takeaway, it would be about the artistry of Kaizo, and the real heart and passion that people put in. We're not just trying to mess with everybody. That's just something on the side.
Now, I will say, depending on who you talk to, if there is a feature of a mod that you do not like, depending on who the person is, I would watch out, because sometimes they'll just add more of that feature to their next iteration. And yes, I'm talking about my friend Barb, which I know people have talked about some features in their mods that they do not like, and then suddenly you see like twice the number of that in the next iteration of it. And it's like, well, that'll teach you from saying something about that. So again, talking about that signature to everyone's work, I very much appreciate all of the characters that we have in the Kaizo community.
Yeah. There are so many, like you said, there's so many characters, and that's something I love about being a part of the Kaizo community. I mean, it's at the point now where, someone like Barb, like take Barb for example, it's like Grand Poo World 3 comes out, it's like, oh, cool, a new album, a new book from my favorite writer, a new movie from my favorite director. It's like that. You're like, I'm like waiting for the new Barb game, and I know it's going to be Barb style, and I kind of know what to expect, but also I know that he's trying to, flip the script and trick us a little bit too, and not do what's expected. So I very much like being a part of that and getting to experience everyone's style and getting familiar with people as artists.
I love it. It's what makes everybody's work so different and unique, and I absolutely appreciate that. You don't want any work of art to look the same twice, so I very much enjoy that component of it. When you see someone's name at the beginning of work, you kind of get this expectation, and then sometimes on the flip side of that, sometimes they'll defy expectations, and that's when things really get fun, because you just don't know what to expect at that point.
Yep, and it's like Kaizo has these rules that's like, well, single solution obstacles, really hard, tech knowledge heavy, but also we could break these rules at any time, so be watching out for that. It might be like they might completely do something different, and it's like, the idea that you want to creatively, hey, I got a wall jump, you want to creatively break the rules, while still kind of reminding everybody that they exist. So yeah, the different number of styles and everyone kind of having their own thing. I mean, I love DIY. I love DIY music, art, do it yourself, get the, have the means of making your own art and make it yourself. And I like Kaizo a lot because it's the style of you can do whatever you want, right? I like that we make it ourselves. We make the tools ourselves. We're our own thing, and we're a community unto ourselves. We're welcoming everybody, but that we did this all. It's not, no one handed this to us. No one came and said, these are the rules, now you all have to follow them. We made it, and every day I'm proud of us for that. And I'm really proud of what we do.
So 4 minutes remain. I'm so sad we're not going to be able to see the end of this.
4 minutes.
But I have been so proud of all the levels you've completed. This has been great. And I'm really glad, despite how difficult all the levels were, that you were willing to put this up against a Mercy Kill timer.
Oh, thank you.
So much respect.
No, this is great. I'm actually pretty pleased. I think I've done pretty well here.
Oh, absolutely.
I did better. I'm doing better now. I'm doing better than I thought I would, actually, if I'm being honest.
When we started talking kind of about the artwork and kind of like the behind the scenes stuff, you started to kind of loosen up a little bit, and you started to complete these levels. So I think we just needed to get past that initial nerves that come with playing a game like this on a showcase, and you're really, really doing well.
Well, hashtag just human things. It's like, I'm nervous. Oh, why are you nervous? There's no reason. Oh, right. Oh yeah, actually, there's no reason.
And don't worry, folks. I'm pretty sure Mallow will still get a treat at some point after this, even if Glitchcat doesn't complete this. So don't worry.
You know what? I promise that I will give Mallow one salmon treat in honor of Mercy Kill and everyone in chat for GDQ. He will get one regardless of whether I win or lose.
All right.
We all know he's a good boy and he deserves many a treat. So yeah, let me know one time because I'm not sure I'll be able to finish the rest of this. But this is the downhill part of this game. I think these 2 levels are a little bit easier than the ones that came before it, and yeah, with a little bit of extra. Which don't give me the extra time now, but I'm not too far off from actually just finishing the game.
Yeah, no live deals. That's the meme, and that's the truth here on Mercy Kill. But I'll tell you, even though the timer wins here again, this is a moral victory in my heart. Just this is so far that you've gotten in this difficult of a game after not playing it for some time. Like this is great. And remember, you already got the win earlier on Return to Subcon, so it'll balance it 1-1 today. Of the things that count today, it'll still be a tie, and the runners will still be ahead. It'll be 13 to 12 at that point. So with that being said, we have about 2 minutes left in this segment, folks. We're actually not going to go to an interview after this. We're going to go immediately to our break, and that is so we have enough time to do a few more of our Various Dragon poems, I'll call them, by Glitchcat.
Yeah, I can explain a little more about Various Dragons, but if this is like non-commercial difficulty for me, Various Dragons is harder than this. You know what? Honestly, you'll see. It's easier if I just have it in front of you. But shell tricks are I have a very particular fondness for shell tricks, and you get to see whether or not I win the levels. You will get to see some shell tricks. You better believe it. So. That.
Less than a minute to go. I'll count once we get down to 5, and then after that, we'll go to a break really quickly, and then we'll be back after a brief break with Various Dragons. So we're going to do things just a little differently here. Remember, folks, that there is another show immediately following this, never before seen, so we're going to try to keep up with the schedule as best as we can. So, all right, about 30 seconds left, Glitchcat, and again, I just want to say GG to you. This has been fun. I really like this.
Yeah, no, thank you. I did well. I did better than I thought I would. So cool. I feel fine.
$15 seconds.
I can't. Even if I were to one-shot the rest of this, I wouldn't be able to do it in 15. Oh.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop.
Yeah. Hey, do some push-ups, Mario. Hey, yeah.
Very good effort there by you, Glitchcat. Very much.
You know what? I'm pleased with that.
Absolutely. Well, to make sure we get in the maximum amount of Various Dragons, folks, we will be right back with more Mercy Kill. Welcome back to Mercy Kill, folks. I am joined here by Glitchcat7 in episode 13, and we have the final segment of y'all for Mercy Kill for tonight. This is Various Dragons. Again, we can think of these as poems of Mario World mods versus an entire game put together. So, Glitchcat, why don't you tell us a little bit about Various Dragons, and you count us down once you're ready on the first one.
Yeah, so I made this for me. You know, a lot of stuff I've made is either supposed to be for people or people can try or whatever, and people have played this and liked it, and I appreciate that, but this is stuff that I made just to kind of show off what I like, my own skills, my own creativity. So like I said, these are shell poems. I didn't really make this to be an entire game. It's just 4 levels that you can beat in any order, play however you want, and just kind of showing off creativity and different ideas. Constant combos, a lot of shell tricks, and not marathon safe at all. So I might not actually beat any of these levels, but you will get to see a lot of cool stuff anyway. So we can count down whenever you're ready.
You are on the countdown.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
So what we did was we set a 40-minute estimate, Glitchcat, and just every 10 minutes I'll call, okay, next level. And that way you can just show off every single one.
Yep, that sounds great to me. I will just kind of play them in whatever order. I'll start with green. So like I said, these are shell tricks. These are very difficult, and I really only had myself in mind as a player when I made it. So, okay, good luck, me. Yeah. So, there's lots of stuff you can do with shells. They can be kicked and dropped, and you're going to see all of that. If you have any questions, again, please just ask, because there are things that I'm not going to remember. Like I said, this is super duper duper difficult, so expect some deaths and whatnot.
There was one thing I wanted to make clear. We are done counting Mercy Kill runs for the rest of the night. This is just a little showcase I wanted to do before our Never Before Seen show coming up right after this run. But this was something, you know, Glitchcat had told me. We've been talking about this theme of art all night. And Glitchcat was like, well, there are these 4 shell poems. And I'm like, wait, did you say poems? Because it kind of fits in with our entire narrative. So I want to kind of further that concept and wonder, in what way is this mod a ode to poems, if you will?
They're all short. There's all no checkpoint. I mean, I like writing. I like poem. I consider myself a bit of a songwriter. Done some stuff like that, and I think each of these levels, to me, and that might not be clear in the gameplay, I mean it kind of metaphorically, but they all sort of explore a particular idea or a particular feeling. Like this one is like I wanted to, I know this sounds kind of silly, but like riding, it's like the never-ending story or whatever. You're like riding on the back of a dragon as you're flying through the sky, and so there's a lot of like horizontal motion, like right here, and that's like kind of like how I wanted it to feel. Again, this is like metaphorical, but you know, they're little, they're short, kind of bite-sized, and they all kind of like reference a particular idea. So like I said, we talked about regrabs before and slow fall. I'm using a lot of different articulation to get through this. Sometimes I'm slow falling, sometimes I'm fast falling, depending on what the situation calls for. And the timing of the shell throws is also pretty precise, and there's a lot going on. Plus, this is all... So, okay, actually, let me back up for a second, because a long time ago, before I ever started speedrunning, I did high score. And I still really like high score. There's a lot of cool high score runs and games out there. A little bit archaic, but, you know, it's a good time. And I did the deathless high score in Mario 3. This was way back in the day. And I still have the world record, if you're not counting someone that's made... Well, a friend of mine, 100th Coin, made infinity points with arbitrary code execution. But if you're not counting the arbitrary code execution, I still do have the record. And in Mario 3 high score especially, you want to earn points, obviously, and you do that in a number of ways. But one of the ways is bouncing on enemies. And so you can come up with these really elaborate bounce combos. And you bounce on one enemy, you float over here, you hit that other enemy, respawn, and then come back and do it again. And this is sort of an homage to that. I like the constant danger. I like the constant motion. I like, you know, one wrong move and you fall in the lava. You know, everything you touch would kill you in this level, and it all has to go really smoothly. And when you're in it, it's such a cool feeling. Like I don't know. It's hard to describe, but you just get to feel like some combination of Tony Hawk and Neo in the Matrix.
Yeah, I've been seeing this kind of recur in chat all day. A lot of, I don't know if I would ever want to play this. This looks difficult. You have absolutely nothing but time to lose if you would like to play. And again, you don't have to start here. There are many, many, many mods out there where they're for all different kinds of levels. I've seen plenty that have been on more of a beginner scale. Quickie World is the one that stands out to me. Return to Subcon is a fantastic one as well if you're looking for a good challenge here. Glitchcat's own mod. But don't be too shy to try something. I mean, it looks difficult, but if it's something that even remotely interests you, just remember everyone had to start somewhere. And that goes for a lot of things in gaming in general.
Yeah. And you know, the neat thing about Kaizo too, because I definitely get that, right? Like, I feel the same way about skateboarding that some people might feel about Kaizo. Is like, I really like to watch it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go down Bob Burnquist's 200-foot mega ramp. Like, no, thank you. But I like seeing people that are good at it that do it. And one thing that I think is just lovely about Mario modding specifically is that people know already how Mario works. You don't have to be a player. You don't necessarily have to have all the context to be able to look at something and go, oh, that's very difficult Mario happening here. Because people generally already get the game. You know, they know it's, you know, don't touch the piranhas, watch out for the thwomp. They already understand that stuff. So high level Kaizo is surprisingly accessible to audiences. And even people that don't want to play, you know, like we like fans too, you know, and you know, it's there for everybody, even if you don't necessarily want to do this yourself. Like, frankly, I don't blame you.
I just don't want people to take a look at this and be like, oh my gosh, I could never do that. You never know. Give it a try at some point. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If it hurts your hands, totally understandable. But you never know, and you might find a new hobby when you try something like this.
Yeah, and like Skybill said, there are so many, you know, what you all are seeing tonight with this and Search for Salmon is the upper echelons of difficulty. There are hacks that are even harder than Search for Salmon, notably Casio. Mario World that came out recently is just a soul destroyer of a thing. Great game, but wow, it's so difficult. But there also are a lot of easier ones, and there are just as many. Actually, there are more mods on SMW Central, the official website headquarters for everybody. There are even more mods that aren't Kaizo, that are just more in line with how the original game did it. And so if you're looking to just play modified Mario World and you don't want all the difficulty, check out some of the non-Kaizo games. They're really good. And they, you know, add so much to the vanilla game. New backgrounds, graphics, sprites, enemies, everything. So, you know, you don't basically what I'm saying is you don't have to play the hard stuff if you just are interested in playing modified Mario.
Yeah, one thing I would recommend, and I'm happy that there are people talking about this in chat, is always make sure you have a gauge on your hand health. I try to promote this every single show I do here on GDQ Hotfix. There are compression gloves out there. You know, make sure to do certain hand stretches. Ice can be very good sometimes, depending. Just try to take care and maintain your hand health, and make sure don't play more in a given time frame than what you're capable of. Be sure to work up to it. It's just like any other muscle. You have to develop it. You have to care for it. You have to take care of it. So just, if anything, if you do want to try this, be sure you practice good hand health. It's so important.
100%. Excuse me. You know, as the guy that's doing this right now, yes, watch out for your hands. It can really hurt. You know, with shell levels especially, I'm holding down the buttons a lot, right? I'm jumping, I'm holding the jump button down, I'm holding the grab button down while I hold the shell, or I'm holding the run button, which is the grab button to move faster. So your hand can very much freeze in that kind of clench position, and that's no good. You really want to watch out for that, and I absolutely encourage everyone that's into this to, yeah, watch out. Get some ice, get some compression gloves, and yeah, keep your hands in check. That's so important.
You probably have about 1 minute and 20 seconds left to go until we change levels, GlitchCat.
All right.
And again, these aren't necessarily mercy kills. Think of these more as like demonstrations of how difficult some of these levels can get.
Yeah, there are, to my knowledge, 2 players besides myself who have beaten all 4 of these levels, but many players have beaten at least 1. Normally, people just kind of pick one that they like and try to give it a go. Oh man, I almost had that. But there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with shells. But yeah, this is definitely more of a showcase, as this kind of thing would not really be would be marathon safe and is kind of unreliable in terms of like, well, yeah, I mean, it might take me 15 minutes to beat this. It might take me, you know, 5 hours, who knows. But I have in the, you know, and I have videos. I have actually beaten all these myself on a real console. It's, you know, it just takes a little bit. Ooh. So yeah, just let me know and I will move on to each level in sequence.
10 seconds left, so you can move on whenever.
Okay, I'll just do after this death.
Okay, that'll work.
And really, it's kind of it's fun because like even if I don't actually beat the level, you still get to see a lot of cool tricks along the way, which is like kind of why I did this in the first place. Oh, okay, yeah, we're moving on.
Ah,
No.
that was so close.
Not bad. That was pretty close to the end. I ran this for SMW Central's Bell Project fundraiser as well, and I did pretty much the same thing where I just kind of got pretty close, but it takes a little more grinding. So this is red. This is the next one. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want a timer for that, or we
No,
can
no,
just
no.
kinda...
We just have it on one timer right now, so it's like
Oh,
40
word.
minutes total.
Okay.
No, no. The name of this mod is Various Dragons, and it's only 4 stages, and it's mostly done using isles or individual levels attempts. So that's what we use for some of that. And some games are run mostly on individual levels, and this would definitely be one of them.
Yeah, this is less of a game. There's no ending. There's no final boss to fight. It's just 4 levels stuck on an overworld. Nothing happens when you beat them all. There's really no win condition at all. I made these as separate things and just slapped them all together for people to give it a try.
Yeah, this is congratulations, you beat the level. Which is quite an accomplishment, really, if you beat any of these levels.
Yeah, trying. They're kind of short, but like I said, like it's so easy to die, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the not practicing this in months not really helping, but you know, I get it's the show. I'm fine with that.
What was your intent when you made these? When you made Various Dragons?
To have fun, to express myself. I like shells, and I said, well, I don't really want to have to watch out for everybody else. What's the player gonna do? You know, is the player gonna know? You know, is this fair for other people? And I just didn't really want to worry about that. So, whoops. So I just did this instead. And, you know, my target audience was me. I just wanted to just try to push my skills. Like I said, you know, just to challenge myself, to push my skills and to be creative, express what I find to be beautiful about the tech, and, you know, give a fun challenge for anyone else that might be interested. But certainly not. I didn't make this as what you might say an implicit challenge for others. You know, I didn't try to be like, hey, everybody, come and beat this. You know, it's just kind of me. It's just kind of me telling you about a dream I had. You know, or just think of it as like getting to hang out at my house. You know, like this is just kind of what the inside of my brain looks like. And when I sit down to make a level without any restrictions or having to worry about player experience, yeah, this is what comes out. And really, I mean, the initial intent was really just to show off on my own stream, just to be like, hey, you know, hey, everybody, look at these cool tricks I can do.
It's kind of like a freestyle session.
I'm sorry, what?
I said it's kind of like a freestyle session, but
Exactly.
We do have a question from the chat. You may recognize this name. This is from Supersonic, who asks, is this kind of like practice for Kaizo?
Yeah, totally. If the Kaizo you're doing involves constant shell combos, then yeah. But is it? I mean, everything is practice. You know, all the time. Also, hi Supersonic, you're great. But you know, you practice one video game, you practice them all. You know, all the skills overlap. All the the Kaizo skills overlap. If you're better at jump articulation, you can be better at shells. If you're better at movement and positioning, you can be better at certain other things. So, you know, to go back to the analogy about skateboarding or yo-yo or, you know, juggling sticks or whatever, it's a trick-based lexicon. And you learn the fundamentals, and then you recontextualize the fundamentals until they're tough again. And so, you know, when you learn one thing in a roundabout way, you're learning everything. With the right attitude, you are, you know. So yeah, you know, it's all practice. If this is someone's jam, if you're looking at this and thinking this looks kind of cool but too difficult, there's a new mod that's out. It's on SMW Central. It's the Team Shell game. And it is levels like this that are focused primarily on shell jumping, shell tech like that, but they're not as difficult as this. And if you're into shell tech, I would recommend checking that one out because it's much more, it's very difficult, but it's not quite, you know, a billion Scoville units like this one is, to make a hot sauce analogy.
I appreciate that. You know, that's what maybe we should do going forward is comparing certain Kaizo difficulties to the Scoville unit. I appreciate
I
that.
think that's a good. I think that's a good thing. I always like to make the hot sauce comparison because or someone was asking like how hard is too hard and whatever. It's just like a hot sauce. You want heat, but you also want flavor. And if you just get a hot sauce that's just burns, like congratulations, you're just kind of drinking something acidic. Like you want to have the difficulty, but then you also want to have flow and creativity and give your player a chance, because that's where all the flavor comes from. So you want to strike a balance with both, and I think hot sauce is a good analogy.
Yeah, one thing I very much enjoy about your commentary, especially Glitchcat, is you have such a great way of explaining such complicated levels in artwork. Like, I'm really learning a lot.
Thank you. And and this is a little bit of a plug for not only me but for GDQ also. If you'll have me, I was invited to do commentary for some of the upcoming Mario runs at AGDQ Online 2021, the event we're all very excited for. So thank you. I really like commentary, and I really just enjoy doing it. So I will also be on the couch for Comfort Zone, Super Orb Brothers, and Mario 35. So I'm very, very excited for that.
Yeah, Glitchcat and I are actually going to be on the virtual couch together, as I'm going to actually be hosting for that segment for Mario 35 in particular. So you'll get to hear our combo again during AGDQ 2021. I'll be reading the donations, and Glitchcat will be kind of explaining what's going on. So it'll be a fun combo. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, thanks. I really like, I like doing commentary, and I like advocating for the artistry of this, and that, that's a quote-unquote hill I will die on, is fighting for the artistry here, and really trying to show people that it's not just supposed to be brutal, frustrating difficulty. It can be, but what it really is people trying to express themselves and make something, that they consider to be beautiful.
We have some comments from the chat about how it looks stressful, or how it may cause some anxiety. I think Glitchcat looks very relaxed right now, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what it comes off as to me.
It can, but it's the kind of thing where I do this a lot. I stream full time. I've done this for quite a while, and so it gets easier in time. It's one of those things where at first, oh gosh, it's really anxious, and I can totally understand that, but it gets a little easier in time, and the more you mess with it, it's like kind of like, okay, so you're gonna sit down and do one of these really hard Kaizo levels. At first, maybe you have a lot of anxiety, but after you die for 2 or 3 hours straight, trust me, it'll go away. you might even end up feeling a little bit bored. You kind of just like get it all out of your system. But I got a little bit of performance anxiety, I suppose. But yeah, this it gets easier. Also, speaking of which, how am I doing on time? Because I don't know about
yes, we have about 2 minutes left in this stage.
Right on. Yeah, like I said, this is probably what's going to happen with all of these. You get to see some tricks, but ultimately I might fall short of the big H at the end. If anyone is interested, this game was not submitted to SMW Central because they have to be physically moderated by people, and I just didn't want to torture the mods by making them play this. But it is available on my very own website, glitchcat7.com. All the patches for all of my games are on that website. So if you're interested, you're more than welcome to check out that.
And of course, too, I'm going to plug Glitchcat's channel again in chat, twitch.tv/glitchcat7. Please give Glitchcat a follow if you enjoyed this content. And again, there's been some other content in the past year. You're talking about high score runs, too, for example. Please give Glitchcat a follow.
Oh, thanks. Oh, yeah. These are tough.
I think the tricks alone just look really cool. Especially this one. There's something like kind of mesmerizing about watching you shell bounce at the beginning of this.
Thanks. Yeah, that's this is you could almost call it like a performance art piece, you know, that I've crafted a routine here, and I just try to go through the motions, but it's difficult, you know, just to be flashy. I like, you know, even if I don't get to the end, like already in the level, you've gotten to see like a ton of cool tricks, and then, you know, oh no, and then you mess up one thing and it's over. So.
Oh my god! Wait, how did you? I don't understand hitboxes sometimes.
Yeah, and the thing with Mario World is there's the sprite interaction frame rule. So under normal circumstances, Mario interacts with sprites every other frame, and so sometimes you could get a lower or a high bounce depending on how you interact with any given object. Is that time?
Yeah, that was the only reason why I was interviewing.
All right, moving on. This is, like I said, this is a showcase. This is a demonstration. Literally nobody runs this game. What would we do next? You know what? I'll do yellow next. This is the hardest one. You can just go ahead and keep the time going.
Oh yeah,
let me know on this one. This is the hardest level in this game for sure. When I made this and completed it, the original clear for me took 8 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this one is very difficult, but I like it. But yeah, this one, whoo boy.
So the closest thing I can think of when it comes to, like, you know, how long the completions take and everything, if you remember when Panga developed some of the levels, some of the ones that Panga made, I want to say within Mario Maker, took that time, if not a little bit more. That's just the patience of artwork. But how good did it feel to actually complete this after 8 hours?
Oh, lovely. Super good. It's one of those things where, I don't know, and this is just maybe me as a player, but I'm the type that, like, when it's crunch time in the run, or when I'm, you know, it's been several hours on some level or something, what I'm telling myself in my head is, do what you know how to do. You know that you can do this. You already did it. You did it in practice. You already, you know, you know exactly what's about to happen here. Just do that. And that's what I say to myself, like, all the time. I'm not the type to just kind of randomly, well, I mean, sometimes I can, I guess, but more or less, like, I'm gonna practice, and that shows me exactly what I'm gonna do. And I typically don't do much better than I do in practice. So I'm always just kind of telling myself, like, just do what you know how to do. I forgot the trick there. The yellow turn drop. I just totally blanked out. So, or do what you don't know how to do in my case.
It seems like, you know, and for very, very difficult games on the whole, a positive attitude and a good attitude go a very long way with something like this.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, again, where it's very hard to convince people sometimes that I mean it, but I like this. I find this relaxing. I find it meditative, and I enjoy making slow amounts of progress over the course of a long time. You know, not always. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes I get salty or, you know, kind of bored or whatever, but on the whole, I know it might be hard to believe, but this is fun. You know, I even have a command in my chat that says as much. Exclamation fun just says, yes, I'm serious. I really do enjoy this. You know, so, you know, but also too, I completely understand how this can look like mean to someone. You know, it can look like torture. You know, I see an Olympic track team running, and I'm like, wow, that would be torture. If I ran that much, I would probably just pass out. So, you know, it's all relative to perspective, but I really do enjoy it, and it really can be fun. It feels really good to win after a long amount of time, but the win happens when you know you can, if that makes any sense, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like I know that I can do it. And speaking of RTA stuff, and I want to give a big shout out because I'm playing something like this, but I'd really like to shout out my friend Lungfish3000 on Twitch, who recently did something that literally no one has ever done, and put down probably one of the, actually no, I'm not even going to say probably, it is the most difficult RTA Kaizo achievement that I think has ever been done. They beat a very old boss from World Peace, or G-Breeze, I forget. I always get those mixed up, called Fruit Dealer. And if you don't know what Fruit Dealer is, it's essentially a bullet heck, but in Mario World. And the creator actually beat it. It was supposed to be TAS only. Like, you were supposed to save state in order to beat it. Lungfish did it RTA, and has the same sort of attitude that it's relaxing. It really, truly can be fun, and it can be relaxing. And I guess, like, don't let the big numbers scare you. You know, like, yeah, 20 hours is a long time to spend on a level, but if you play it for 3 or 4 hours a day, it just takes a while. It's not that long, you know? So it's just like, don't be intimidated by the big numbers, and don't necessarily think that, like, just because it takes a long time, it's not going to be good, you know? Oh, I needed that shell to do a turn drop there, and then I'm almost at the end.
I'm really happy that we decided to do this segment. I've never seen these levels before, and I agree with some folks in chat here that this is actually kind of relaxing to watch.
Thank you. Thank you. I thank you. Thank you, chat. Thank you. Like I said, like, I fully get it. I get why this looks ridiculous. I get why it looks like torture, and I don't blame anybody at all for wanting to be like, yeah, not for me, no thank you. I don't know, but for me, it's just kind of fun. And granted, too, you know, I've spent a long time with this game, so I have certain muscle memory that, like, I'm not really thinking too much. Like this spring landing, I'm not really thinking about that too much. It just kind of is. And I'm not trying to brag. Like, obviously, there's tons of other really good players, but it's just like anything else. Like, it looks really hard, and then you develop some muscle memory, and then only certain parts of it are hard. Like, at first, it all looks like everything looks the same amount of tough. But once you get into it a little bit, you realize that, okay, well, this, and this are pretty easy. And then you get to the really hard part. So, you know, it's all perspective. I really appreciate when people can dig it, you know, when people can dig the artistry of it, because that's something that really matters to me, and something I always try to show off in what I say and what I make.
Yeah,
This is my favorite trick right there.
Right there?
The no nudge forward drop. It's really hard to set that trick up to, like, force the player to do that. So I'm very proud of that one. If I get lucky in Dragons, you might see another one.
We have about 3.5 minutes left on this level.
All right, so I got some time.
Yeah.
So yeah, you basically want to, like, drop that yellow shell and then wait until you fall down so you can nudge it. Shells can either be active or inactive. If you throw it forward, it's active, and Mario can jump off of it. But if you drop it or up throw it, it's not active, and Mario can catch it or nudge it to make it active. So knowing when to throw and when to drop and nudge is a good skill to have for shell stuff. And also, too, like, all the blocks kill you. If I were to touch the wall, as you've seen, I would die. So there's like very small room for error.
So I have a question. I may have seen this, I may have not. Have you attempted the stage known as Thumb Shredder?
I made that stage.
Okay, that's what I thought, and I was thinking to myself, I should have asked that question first, but I don't know why my mind lapsed over that question. So, when you developed Thumb Shredder then, how many tries did it take you to complete it the first time, roughly, or time?
About 2 hours.
Okay.
About 2 hours. I love Thumb Shredder. I am so proud of that. I also think it's really funny. So I spent a long time on some of my other hacks, and I spent all of about one evening on Thumb Shredder. It figured. I wanted to get to the cool part. But and I'm not complaining, right? But it figures that, you spend a long time on something, and then you spend one evening. Like Thumb Shredder is the one I just did in an evening, and that's the one that got really viral, and everybody loved it. Like I wish I would have known that people would have liked that. I would have spent more time on it. But I'm really happy that it's gotten to the point where people don't even know I mean, obviously I'd like the credit, but I think I'm kind of flattered by the fact that like it's gotten out there so far that people are like, oh, have you ever played Thumb Shredder? Like, I have, in fact. So thank you.
Yes, I made that smug smile.
I did make a sequel also. It's called Thumb Shredder's Dad. It has a vanilla midair at the end.
Ooh.
So that one's even harder. Although I don't think I'm going to make a third Thumb Shredder because it really hurts my hands. I have actually had my thumb shredded. It can really mess you up. You're constantly pressing R to spawn a shell in your hand, and all that extra R pressing can really do a number on your wrist. And to make and play a Thumb Shredder is a lot of wrist. So
yeah,
there might not be a third Thumb Shredder. It may have served its purpose, and that's that.
Yeah, that was silly of me to ask that, because I believe at MMC I saw something with that, and I believe you and I may have witnessed it being played at GDQ. Remember, it was like an incentive, and I think I remember sitting either from the hosting station or there, so yes. I'm not the first to ask glitch.
It was played at MMC. It was not played at GDQ. Pooh and I did 2-player 1 controller original Thumb Shredder fall for a little while.
That's what it was. Yes, that's what I was thinking of, is when you
We did well. I think with a little bit of time, him and I could do it. And I would offer to play Thumb Shredder, but honestly, it's kind of rough on my wrist. So after a whole night of big time gaming, I'm not really trying to do that. Like it kind of stinks, but yeah, you know, this stuff can hurt your wrists or hands, and I've got to be conscientious about that as a full-time streamer.
Sure. Next level, by the way.
Next level. All right. This is my favorite one. This is the one I made first, and it will be the last of the 4.
So yeah,
I am very proud of this level. The first clear on this level was done by Arisen Dead, and it took 74 hours. Honestly, this might be my favorite Mario World Kaizo level that I've ever made. I just love it. I like the flow, I like the tricks, and I didn't have a hard time with making this one. It all came to me very easily, which is always nice when you have, you have good ideas and they work and you don't have to edit a lot. Man, my down input, I think honestly, I don't like blaming my controller here, but my down input's getting a little sus right now.
I like the colors. The colors on the stage.
Thank you. Yes, me too. This is the one I think I've probably played the most out of all of them.
Oh my gosh.
Oof. Yeah, I like this one. I like this one. This one's
come on.
My favorite of mine.
I barely saw you hit that muncher. Barely. But yeah, according to Chad, according to Deke, I'm not the first one to ask you that, so I feel a little bit better. I could have sworn I had it like narrowed down between you and another person. I meant to ask about Thumb Shredder, but I'm like, and then I just assumed. I'm like, wait, no, you are the creator of that.
Yeah, honestly, and I really mean, I am kind of flattered. Like honestly, like that Thumb Shredder has been popular enough that people know about it, but not necessarily me. And like, yeah, you always, as a creator, you'd want the credit, but I'm not upset that people don't know that. If anything, it's kind of flattering.
Well, people will certainly know after viewing this video here live and on YouTube, so don't you worry about that.
Cool. Yeah, there's lots of Thumb Shredder stuff, and you can also, that's on glitchcat7.com, not on SMW Central. The reason some of my harder stuff isn't on SMW Central is just because I don't want to torture LinkedIn or Shovda or Third Wall or any of the mods. Like, they have to actually play the stuff to check it out, and yeah, I just didn't want to torture them. I straight out I didn't want to make people have to do this. Like, I know that this stuff is so hard, so I want to release it in such a way that it does not imply that it's a challenge for everybody, if that makes sense. It's one of those, like, If you want to, you can try it, but you certainly don't have to, and I understand why you wouldn't want to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't again, like, I just don't want to torture people. I don't make this stuff to frustrate people and to make them angry. It's just a side effect sometimes.
I'm really impressed by everything that you've done. I know we're on the final stage of tonight, but thank you so much for not only developing these lovely levels, but also just sharing your work with us, letting us know a lot about the behind-the-scenes stuff that goes into it that we all don't get to hear about. And thanks for just demonstrating a lot of this. This has been very awesome.
Oh, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm really flattered. Thank you to GDQ for letting me play some of my stuff. It really means a lot. And I hope I can speak well for the artistry of it, because that's something that very much matters to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, I am not the only person doing this kind of thing. There are more and more S-tier players on the regular. So, like, keep an eye on the Kaizo community. There's so much talent. Oh man, that was it. That was the end. If I would have got the spring midair off that, that would be the end of the level, and I would have won.
I want you to win a level. Come on, you can do it. You still got time. You still got time.
I'm trying. But if we got a mercy kill, we got a mercy kill. It's the name of the name of the show. Also, I'm gonna be real. I don't like to blame the controller, and I'm not blaming the controller. What I'm saying is I need to repad this controller.
I was going to ask you, how many controllers and controller parts have you gone through in all this?
Oh, I lost count. I lost count. I have a huge box of pieces, parts, and pads and everything. Oftentimes when I go into a game shop, I just ask them if they have spare, like, broken controllers, and I just buy broken ones for parts, because all I really need is the pads. So yeah, I just kind of Frankenstein controllers. I have one shell that I use, and I just repad them every now and then when I need to. Oh,
5 more minutes. Come on, I want to see you complete this level.
5 minutes. All right.
I believe.
Ugh, 5 minutes, huh?
Yeah. If you're going to defeat any level, I feel like this is the one from this one.
This is the one I've played the most.
Mm-hmm.
It's older than its cousins. Oh man! Ah, jeez.
Sorry, your reactions. I'm trying to give you a little bit of time to think here, because
No, it's all right. This is pretty habitual muscle memory.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, we'll see. Like, I might have beat that level on that last attempt, or we would sit here for 20 minutes or something. It really all depends. It's hard to be so consistent at something like this that you are just never going to mess up.
Yeah.
There's so many ways to screw up, and the spaces are so very small. All right, let's go. No. Oh man, I'm getting hyped.
You're so close. Dang.
Oh, that was wrong. I knew it.
Let me check on time here.
Yeah. If we got a mercy kill, we got a mercy kill. That's okay.
We still got about 3.5 minutes left.
Well, all right. That's a few more tries, but no promises. We'll see. I hope this has been entertaining for everybody, though.
Oh, everybody's been having a fun time with it.
That makes me happy to hear. But see how you can just be a little bit too far to the left or a little bit not, just jump a little bit too much, and, any kind of error like that will tend to just wreck your run.
So once we're done with this, I have a couple of questions to ask you before we wrap up and send it to the next GDQ Hotfix show.
Sounds good.
So again, folks, please do not forget to give GlitchCat a follow. That is twitch.tv/glitchcat7. Very much deserving of a follow. And what you see is what you get here on GlitchCat stream.
Yes, I do stream full time. If anyone is down for that, so you can catch me on most nights. I stream in the evening. I'm in Eastern Standard, so I start between 7:30 and 8:30, and I stream till like 1 or 2. Gotta do the plug here.
All right, so you get one more try after this, regardless of time.
After this death?
After this death, you'll get one more try.
All right, let's make this one count. No, that one is the gatekeeper. Also, I think my hands are getting a little jellied.
Oh, yeah. All right, one more try.
Last try. It's all right. I understand. It's how it goes here on Mercy Kill. But seriously, you saw the entire level. All I do is a spring midair at the end, and then I win. Oh, that was a weird way to go. All right. I didn't expect to. I figured this would happen. But there you have it. I'll call it there. We good? Did I lose you?
No, my mic. My mic was muted.
No. Oh, hi. I didn't see you there.
I'm right here. Okay, so as I was saying, this has been such an impressive display of runs, and I am so proud of everything you did tonight. And again, that is an even between the runner and timer. I believe it is 13-12 runners to the timer right now. So I wanted to ask you a couple questions before the end here. So what did you think of the Mercy Kill experience as a whole? Would you recommend it to other runners? What were things that you enjoyed about it?
Absolutely. I liked that I didn't have to be nervous because it's specifically the show of being rusty, and that's awesome because practice and having to be on point is terrifying. But being rusty is all right. So that's my plug. Yeah, this was very fun. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. There is no shame in being rusty. We have people who haven't played games in 8 to 10 years that want to be on here and try this. So
solid.
I very much enjoyed featuring this, and this kind of established some parameters of what else we can do on the show. And thank you again so much for your art, GlitchCat, in general. Like, the stages and the passion that you've put in really showed, and that was one of my favorite parts of the show overall today, is just showing off your art and explaining it. And that's something we don't get to do as often, so it was a privilege to do that, for sure.
Thank you. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. Like I said, I appreciate being given the time of day for my perspective. I know that it just is my perspective, and I'm not trying to speak to an objective truth. I'm not trying to say, well, I know what Kaizo is, and this is how it is. It's just that it's a very personal thing for me, having grown up with the game. And so I people taking the time to dig my perspective on it. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. So real quick before I announce the next show, there will be another GDQ Hotfix show following this, never before seen. But I always like to preview the very next Mercy Kill, and on the 30th, I want to say, which is in 2 weeks. This is an every other week show. I'm just checking my calendar to be sure. Here we go. We have Adaf on, who will be running Twilight Princess. So it'll be a nice, snug, long episode, an extended episode of Mercy Kill, if you will. So we have that to look forward to in a couple of weeks here. But tonight we still have more content here. We're going to be having Tumba Animaniacs for the Genesis, Knuckles Chaotix, and Sonic Generations 3DS coming up tonight on Never Before Seen. Take it away, Amber Cyphrin. We're very much looking forward to the episode.